A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Well, when Mr. Jackson, the bridge instructor, hired Jane to be the horrible example of how not to play bridge, he never thought his pupils would start playing bridge Jane's way, the easy way. But unknown to him, all over the city, women are relaxing and following Jane's rules for not taking bridge seriously. This episode takes place before dinner in the Ace's bungalow, where we find Mr. Ace pacing the living room alone. The front door opens, and Marge comes in from work. Listen.
Is that you, Jane?
No, it's Marge.
Oh, I wonder where Jane is. I've been home half an
Oh,
hour.
no, but I wish she were here. I've got something to tell her that'll make her feel mighty proud.
What?
Well, coming home just now on the bus, I overheard a bit of conversation between two women in back of me. For a minute, I thought one of the women was Jane, being from the dialogue.
Well, what was it?
Well, one woman was telling the other about a bridge game she'd had at her house last night. She was saying it's the first game of bridge she's really enjoyed in all the time she's been playing. And the other woman asked her how much she'd won. But the first woman said she hadn't won anything. In fact, she'd lost, seeing she and her husband were partners. But she didn't mind losing because she was so relaxed. And it's the first bridge game she ever got up from without a slipping headache.
Well, what's the point of all
Well,
this?
the point is this woman finally gave the other woman the recipe for relaxing at bridge. Now, see if this doesn't sound familiar. In the first place, she said, she never finesses anymore.
What?
Yes, how do you like that?
She never finesses.
And she told this other woman she ought to try it too, and to see how restful it is not to bother finessing. And this other woman was amazed. She said that wasn't good bridge. But the first woman said it didn't make any difference. After all, she said, and this'll drop you, she said she only played bridge for her own amazement.
For her own amazement?
I'll tell you, I turned around to make sure it wasn't Jane with a cold.
You mean to say that this woman...
Wait a minute, there's more. She said she had a new system of leading that was the most marvelous system she ever heard of.
Leading? Leading what?
Leading cards. She said instead of bothering about leading the fourth card from her longest and strongest suit, she just leads the first card on the right.
The first card on the right? Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. But I thought she was for a minute, so I thought it was somebody that knew me that was kidding me. Well, I couldn't stand it any longer, so I turned around and asked her.
As to what?
I said I couldn't help but overhear the conversation, and I asked her if that was a new system of playing bridge and where she'd gotten hold of it. Well,
I get it. She's one of the pupils of that bridge school that Jane's working at. Is that it?
Oh, no, I thought she was, too. But she told me that she had a friend who knew somebody who took lessons there. She mentioned Jackson School. And this friend called her up and told her about this new system of really enjoying bridge while you play it. And she told me that it's spreading like wildfire.
What's spreading?
This new way of playing bridge.
You mean Jane's way?
That's what she said.
Well,
of course, she didn't mention Jane, but from the description and the dialogue, it wasn't hard to figure out what's happened.
Wait a minute. You mean that these women at the school... Jackson hired Jane to show them how not to play bridge so he could correct them and show them the correct way, and the way things are working out now, they're all playing Jane's way? Is that what
exactly. And I can't wait to tell Jane.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I don't believe that. Nobody's going to play bridge
They're
like that.
not. Wait a minute. I'm not finished. Here, read this.
What's that?
Well, it's an editorial in tonight's paper. I ran across this in the bus after those two women got off. This will show you what's going on. Read it.
This here? Bridge of size?
That's it. Bridge of size. Clever heading, isn't it? Well, read it out loud.
Yeah. We sigh with content as we note a new wrinkle in the strenuous game of bridge as it is played in these days. No more fretting and fuming, no more mental acrobatics to remember how many trumps have been played and how many tricks one must have to open a bid or close a contract. Bridge has been simplified and can now be played the easy way. Thanks to the introduction by Mrs. Average Player of a new set of simple and sensible rules, bridge will lose its venom and will become once more a friendly game of cards to be played for enjoyment and relaxation. In a world already beset with streamlined speed and driving energy, it is gratifying to hear one small voice saying, "I only play bridge for my own amazement." What do you know about that?
Go ahead.
I lead the first card on my right because it's easiest to get to. Such utter defiance in a world of confusion is worthy of attention. And from what we hear, the attention is becoming quite popular. Bridge has at last become a simple game of cards. We salute Mrs. Average Player. Well, what's going on here? Is everybody going nuts? Does this mean that bridge is going to sink to Jane's level?
It's being raised to Jane's height, according to this newspaper.
Well, if all these women are going to start playing bridge as Jane does, think of their husbands. What about them?
You're the husband. What about you?
Oh, but I'm used to it. I know what to expect when I sit down to a game of bridge with Jane. But those guys, boy, those poor guys. I know, I went through it. This is no news to me. But if they're going to start playing...
Oh, I think that's Jane now. Jane?
Yes, Marge. Is everybody home?
Yes, everybody's home.
Yes? Oh, yes. Hello, dear.
Hello, Jane. What kept you so late?
Oh, I had more things to do after class. I thought I'd never get through.
Well, what's the matter? Something go wrong at the school?
Well, no, nothing went wrong. To be contrary.
What?
To be contrary, everything's honky-tonky. Wait till you hear what happened. In the first place, I get twice as much money as I did before.
Twice as
What?
much? $10 an afternoon?
Uh-huh.
Well, how did that happen?
Well, it all started this afternoon when Mr. Jackson told me this new idea of his, about teaching bridge with me playing the hands wrong. Well, it's getting so popular that it's catching on like wild cake. He said they have so many women who want to come to the school now that instead of one class from 2 to 4, they're going to have 2 classes, one from 2 to 3 and one from 3 to 4. Oh, it just comes out even, doesn't it?
Yeah, but what
and
is...
I have to play 2 hands of bridge instead of 1. Well, I said, if that's the way it is, I want twice as much money for playing 2 hands. Isn't that fair?
Yes, I think that's fair.
Oh, I asked him, isn't that fair?
Oh, and he gave you the raise?
Well, at first he hummed and hawed, and then he finally said, all right. It was like pulling teeth from a baby, but I finally got it. I get $10 an afternoon, 4 afternoons a week. That's $40 a week. That's more than $2,000 a year. Do they still have income tax, dear?
What?
I've been worrying about the income tax all the way home. Do they still have it, dear?
Well, yes, I think they do.
They do, huh? How much is it now?
What?
How much do they charge for income taxes now?
How much do they charge? What are you talking about?
Well, you paid for one. You ought to know. Didn't you pay for one? I thought I heard you say...
I don't think you ought to worry about that now, Jane.
Well, I have to worry if I'm making all this money. How much is it, dear?
I don't know, Jane.
Depends on the bracket you're in, Jane.
Well, you know the racket I'm in. Bridge
You
level.
said it, too, and what a racket it is.
I mean, it depends on how much money you make a year. You'd make, let me see, $2,080.
Yes. Now, how much would I have to pay?
Well, you have to take off expenses and things like that.
Oh, yes. You do that, too, don't you, dear?
Well...
remember last year when you lost $20 on a horse, you put down $20 as a bad bet?
All right now, Jane. Now, don't go repeating that around. And stop worrying about how much you'll have to pay, because from what I understand, this bridge lesson racket won't last much longer.
Won't last?
No, not if all these women start playing the kind of bridge they're learning from you at that school. It won't last. They won't need any school. You'll be out of a job.
Oh, no, I won't. Don't worry about that. I made him sign a contract.
Say, you didn't.
You made him sign a contract?
Well, vice versa. I signed a contract.
Oh, you signed it?
Well, it's the same thing. He has to pay me $10 an afternoon. That's what it says.
Where is it?
In the contract.
No, where's the contract?
Oh, he's got it. Mr. Jackson's got it. Don't worry about
But
it, dear.
you shouldn't be signing any contract.
Don't worry. I remembered what you told me about reading everything very carefully before I sign anything. And I did. I read every word over and over before I signed it.
Well, what did it say?
$10 an afternoon.
But what else did it say?
What else? I don't know. That's the most important part, the $10. I read it over and over.
Oh, what did you get into now?
Get into? I got into $10 an afternoon instead of 5. And I thought that was pretty smart. I thought you'd like that when I told you. I said to myself, he'll like this when I tell him. And when I tell him how much this is a year,
It doesn't matter what it is a year, because you won't be there a year.
Oh, yes, I will. I wasn't going to let him get away with that.
Get away with what?
I signed it for a year.
You signed a year's contract with this man?
I'll say the word I did. Oh, I got him in black and white like you always say, dear.
Yes, you got him just where he wants you.
Yes, there's nothing he can do about it now. I got my name right on the contract. I'd like to see me get out of it.
You'd like to... Oh, isn't this awful?
What does he mean? What's awful? Because I'm going to make all this money?
No, it's not that. But I'd like to know what you signed up for. Heaven knows what you've obligated yourself to do now.
I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is come there 4 afternoons a week and play out 2 bridge hands. And for that, I get $10. It's the easiest thing I ever did.
But, Jane, this style of playing you've been demonstrating has been catching on. Don't you know that?
Sure I do. Why do you think he's giving me $10 instead of $5?
I know, but it's probably worth much more than that. It's in all the papers. The women are playing your way all over town.
It is? They are?
Of course. I even overheard 2 women on a bus talking about it. They like your way of playing bridge.
Well, thanks, Marge. Who were they?
I don't know. They were strangers to me. But one woman said she never finesses anymore. She leaves the first card on her right. And
well, that's what I always say.
Of course, and that's what they're saying now. And that's the way they're playing now.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Sweet? That's a fine thing. You're only driving thousands of husbands out of their minds. What do you think they're going to say when they find their wives playing like that?
It doesn't matter what they say.
Oh, it doesn't.
Like I told a woman in the class this afternoon. She asked me about a hand I was playing. She said, if I played that hand the way you're playing it, I'd lose 2 spades, 2 clubs, and a husband.
And a husband.
And we all laughed, except me. And I said, oh, you mustn't argue back with your husband, I said. If they holler at you, just tell them you only play bridge for your own amazement. And if you can't relapse at a bridge table, you might just as well not play. So you see, dear, the sooner the husband stops hollering, the better it'll be for everybody's concerned.
I see. And for that, you get $10 an afternoon.
Yes, 4 afternoons a week. And for a whole year, don't forget that.
I wish I could. I never heard of anybody signing a contract to play bridge.
You never heard of it?
No.
You never heard of contract bridge?
Isn't that awful?
Oh, just a little joke made
Yeah,
up.
that's awful.
Well, in spite of anything Mr. Race can do, Jane is destined to revolutionize the game of bridge. We hear some more about this new system of playing bridge when next we meet the Easy Aces.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story,
Cold Equations.
There is no margin of safety along the rim of a frontier. There can't be any until the way is made for those who come later. Until then, the penalty for mistakes is a grim one. The laws of physical nature operate with irrevocable certainty, with no room for mercy, kindness, or sentimentality. In space, life becomes a cold equation, and the equal sign is often followed by death. I know. I'm the pilot of an EDS.
Come in.
You sent for me, Commander?
Yes. Sit down, Barton. We just got an ED from the Territorial Space Station on Woden.
Woden. That's in the Crab Nebula, isn't it?
That's right. There are 2 exploration parties there on Manning's continent. 8 men each.
Mm-hmm.
They've got calla fever in one of them and no serum.
Oh, and I thought this was going to be a nice, quiet passenger run.
Computers are working out your payload and your course right now. In exactly 10 minutes, we'll drop into normal space and launch your ship.
I'll get her ready.
One thing.
What's that?
Woden is at the maximum pay limit for an EDS. Figuring the weight of the serum, we'll be able to give you just enough fuel to land on Manning's continent if you make it the first pass. Otherwise, you'll burn out in midair.
Mm-hmm. Standard procedure.
Report to launching control.
Right.
Good luck, Barton.
Thanks. Oh, by the way,
Yes?
when can I expect to be picked up?
We'll make a stop on the run back to Earth sometime next year. You'll be notified by radio.
Okay.
Sorry we can't make it sooner.
That's what happens when you sign on for EDS work. I'll see you next year, Commander. Down in the belly of the Stardust, the crew was working like beavers to get the EDS, the emergency dispatch ship, ready. Mechanics and technicians were swarming all over the place. Girls in inspectors' uniforms were checking the gauges in the supply cabinet. 9 minutes later, the exact course was in the computer. The serum was stowed in my supply cabinet closet, and little EDS 4G3 was ready to be born into space.
Martin?
Yes, sir.
30 seconds to blast off. All set?
All set.
I'm turning you over to traffic.
Ready.
Traffic control. Come in, EDS 4G3.
Ready.
20 seconds. Lock open. 15 seconds. Space drive on.
Space drive on.
10 seconds. Gravity neutralizer on.
Neutralizer on.
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off.
I don't remember how long it was afterwards that I first noticed something wrong. Maybe an hour, maybe 2. There was nothing to show it except the needle and the heat gauge. It was on 0 when we left the Stardust, and now I noticed that it had crept up toward the 30 mark. That meant something inside the ship was radiating heat. That something was in the supply closet, and it was alive. All right, come out. Whoever or whatever you are, if you don't come out in 5 seconds, I'm going to blast you. 1, 2. Well, I'll be...
Hello. I'm Marilyn Lee Cross.
What are you doing in there?
I'm a stowaway.
Oh, my...
What's the matter? Do I have to pay a fine or something?
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see my husband.
Who's your husband?
He's with the government survey crew on Woden. I haven't seen him since he left Earth 4 years ago.
Okay. But what made you hide in my EDS?
I have a job waiting for me on Mimir, but I heard you were going to Woden and there was plenty of room, so I hid. Oh, I knew I'd be breaking some kind of rule, but what's one little rule?
What's one little rule? H amount of fuel will power an EDS with a mass of M safely to its destination. H amount of fuel will not power an EDS with a mass of M plus X safely to its destination. Well, how could she be expected to know? She was 5'2" with brown curly hair and the faint, sweet smell of perfume. She was 5'2" and she smelled like apple blossoms. And her name was X in an equation that would have to be balanced.
Stardust. Come in, EDS. Come in.
This is Barton, emergency dispatch pilot 4G3.
Go ahead.
Give me Commander Delhart.
What's the message, EDS?
I have to consult Commander Delhart.
The commander is busy.
Listen, you squirt. Give me Commander Delhart.
One moment, 4G3. Commander Delhart. Emergency message from EDS 4G3.
This is Delhart. What is it?
At 0800 hours, I discovered a stowaway aboard my ship.
A stowaway?
Yes, sir.
Well, have you notified ship's records?
Not yet, sir.
You know the regulations as well as I do.
Of course I know the regulations. That's why I'm calling.
Martin, what's going on?
Sir, this is a girl. A young woman.
Oh.
She wanted to see her husband on Woden. She didn't know what she was doing.
I see.
I wondered, sir, maybe the cruiser could change course or something?
I'm afraid not. We're hundreds of light years apart now. We have a limited fuel supply ourselves, with 900 passengers.
Is there any chance?
No.
Okay, Skipper.
Better get the information to ship's records.
Okay.
Martin.
Skipper?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
You cut our acceleration, didn't you?
Yes.
Why?
Well, save fuel. For a while. How did you manage to stow away?
I was taking a language lesson in Mimirese from a girl in the inspection corps. The order came in for your trip, and I just went along on an impulse. Oh, it was easy. I'll be a model prisoner, I promise.
Oh, if you were only a thief or a spy, it would make it easier.
Make what easier?
Forget it. Why couldn't she have been somebody with some ulterior motive, a fugitive, hoping to lose himself in a raw new world, a crackpot with a mission? Why did she have to be a woman? A beautiful, kind, trusting woman?
Stardust.
Barton, EDS 4G3.
Go ahead, 4G3. Identify a stowaway.
Give me your identification disc, Miss Cross.
Here. Why?
Well, it's for ship's records. Identification number T1857.
One moment. This is for the gray card, of course.
Yes.
I'll need the time of...
I'll tell you later.
That's highly irregular.
Then we'll do it in a highly irregular manner. The subject is a young woman. She's listening to everything that's said. Are you capable of understanding that?
Oh. Go ahead, 4G3.
Number T8374-Y54. Name, Marilyn Lee Cross. Female, married. Born July 7th, 2160. Good Lord, you're only a child. Height, 5 feet 2 inches. Weight, 110. Hair, brown. Eyes, blue. Complexion, light. Blood type, O. Original destination, Port City, Mimir. Listen, I'll call you back later. Look, miss.
Marilyn.
Look, Marilyn. I guess you don't know what you got yourself into here. Well, it's like this. This ship is carrying Calla fever serum to the survey group on Woden.
Yes.
Their supply was wrecked in a tornado. The fever is always fatal unless the serum is given in the first 48 hours. Now, these little ships have exactly enough fuel to reach their destination. If you stay aboard her, your added weight will cause it to use up all its fuel before it can land.
What happens then?
We crash. You die, I die, and 6 fever victims on Woden die.
Well, can't they send out another ship to meet us?
There are no ships to send.
Well, Oh, no. Oh, no, you couldn't do that.
That's how it has to be.
But that's crazy. I haven't done anything. I haven't hurt anybody.
I'm sorry. I should have told you before, but I wanted to make sure there was no other way.
You mean it? You're going to make me leave this ship?
That's how it is.
But I'll die. I'll explode. I'll be like those horrible pictures of...
Try to understand.
I do understand. You're going to kill me, and I didn't do anything.
I know you didn't. That has nothing to do with it.
It has everything to do with it. Nobody just dies like that for no reason. Oh, listen. Maybe there are other cruisers. Cruisers you don't know about. Maybe the radio. Maybe it...
Now, listen to me. It's different here. Different from anything you've ever known. On Woden, there are 16 men. 16 men on an entire world. They're fighting. Fighting an alien environment. The environment fights back. You can only make a mistake once.
And I made a mistake.
Yes.
There's no hope.
Absolutely none. You'll have to be put out of the ship. It was better so. With the going of all hope would go the fear. Then would come the resignation. She needed time, and there was so little.
EDS. Starship to EDS. Need pertinent data.
All right, Starship.
When do you expect to complete your report?
I need a computer check.
I'll give you statistics. Statistics.
This is EDS 4G3. I'm intersecting course vector 7.3 at 0831. Deceleration 1750, weight 1 ton. I would like to stay at point 10 as long as the computers allow. Will you give them the question?
Check. I'll call you back.
We wouldn't have long to wait. The new factors would be fed into the steel maw of the computer bank, and the electrical impulses would go through the complex circuits. Here and there, a relay would click, a tiny cog turn over. But it would be the current, formless, mindless, invisible, which would determine with utter precision how long the pale young girl beside me would live. 5 little segments of metal in the second bank would trip against an inked ribbon, and the machine would spit out the answer.
You will resume deceleration at 1910.
It was 1810 when he spoke. 1 hour. She has 1 hour to live. That's it.
All I did was hide in a closet. And now you tell me I have to die. I don't believe it.
You might as well get used to it.
If this happened back on Earth, 1,000 ships would fill the sky. The whole world would know about it. They'd do everything to save me.
This isn't Earth.
It was such a big dream. Jerry and I separated almost 5 years ago. We were too young. And I was going to see him to try to make everything all right again. Are you married?
I was.
Oh?
She ran off with some guy in the weather service.
Do you still think about it?
I don't let myself.
Where is she?
Back on Earth. Look, if you don't mind, I'd just as soon talk about something else.
Okay. What do you do when you've got an hour to live? What do you talk about?
What's Jerry like?
Jerry? Oh, he's a funny guy. When he found out, I mean about the other fella, he didn't get mad. He cried. That was all he felt, sadness.
So you walked all over him?
Well, I thought I wanted him to get mad at me, to be jealous.
And now?
I've been thinking about him for 5 years. So when I heard the ship was bound for Woden and I knew Jerry was there, I stowed away. I didn't know about the fuel. I didn't know this would happen to me.
She had violated a man-made law that said keep out. The penalty was not of man's making or desire. It was not a penalty men could revoke. H amount of fuel will power an EDS with a mass of M safely to its destination. The time was 1830. 40 minutes. It was beginning to get me. A space frontier is a rough place, and I'd seen 100 men die since I left Earth. But this was different. I watched her as she wrote a message to her folks. I watched her as she fought her way through the black horror of fear toward the calm gray of acceptance. And then there it was on the view screen. The planet Woden. A red ball enshrouded in the blue haze of its atmosphere, swimming in space against the background of star-sprinkled blackness. The chronometer on the instrument panel said 1845. Listen, we're in radio range of Woden now. I mean, would you want me to try to contact your husband?
Jerry?
It'd mean he would know you're going to die. There'd be nothing anyone can do.
Yes. I would like to talk to him. Do you think we can?
Well, the planet is turning. If his group is on the side facing us, we might be able to reach him.
We'll try.
All right. Hello. Hello, Woden. EDS to Government Survey Group. Can you hear me? Come in, Woden. They may not be monitoring.
Hello?
Hello. Hello. Identify yourself, please.
This is Government Survey Group 1 on Planet Woden.
This is John Barton, EDS pilot.
Do you have the serum?
Yes. How bad is it?
1 man died last night. 6 have the fever. How long will it take to...
I start deceleration at 1910 hours. I should be able to land at 1930.
Thank God.
Look, do you have a Gerald Cross in charge of the group?
Commander Cross? Yes, we do.
Could I speak to him?
He isn't here. He's out with the survey team.
Well, when do you expect him?
Can't say.
How do you read me? How much time do we have left for communication?
Less than 15 minutes.
All right. If Commander Cross comes back before we lose radio contact, will you have him buzz me? It's important.
Okay, EDS.
I'll keep the set open.
Check.
The minutes passed like small bits of eternity. On the view screen, I could see Manning's continent sprawled like a gigantic hourglass in the eastern sea. There was a thin line of shadow where it was beginning to disappear as the planet turned on its axis. I looked at the pale woman next to me, and I thought of another woman long ago, who'd sat next to me and cried because I wouldn't try to understand. What had she written in those letters back home? What would they think of the faceless, unknown pilot who'd sent her to her death? What would I think of myself alone nights, reliving this voyage?
Cold, isn't it?
I'll turn up the thermostat.
Nothing from Jerry?
We have about 2 minutes of radio contact left.
Maybe it's better. I mean, suppose it were you and your wife tried to call you. How would you feel?
I don't know.
Do you ever hear from her?
I got a letter about a year ago. I tore it up.
That was foolish.
Yeah, it was.
Life is so terribly short to be wandering around alone.
Well, Wait a second, we're getting something.
How much time before I have to leave the ship?
About 10 minutes.
Hello, EDS. Hello, EDS. Come in. Come in.
EDS.
This is Woden. I have Commander Cross.
All right, go ahead.
Hello, this is Commander Cross.
Jerry Cross?
Yes.
I have someone for you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Jerry?
Hello?
Jerry?
Who is it?
It's me, Marilyn.
Marilyn.
I wanted to see you again. I stowed away on the EDS.
You what? But Marilyn...
It doesn't matter, Jerry. All that matters is that I can tell you all the things I've kept inside for so long. Jerry, I want you to know I've never forgotten.
Oh, it's been so many years. I can't believe it.
I thought I'd see you again, but now I can't. Jerry, you don't hate me, do you?
Hate you? Oh, Marilyn, I've never stopped loving you. Not for an instant.
Oh, Jerry.
Listen, we don't have much time. The transmission is getting fuzzy. Oh, Marilyn, I've got to see you. There's got to be some way.
But there isn't.
Let me talk to the pilot.
Hello.
Pilot, have you called the mothership? Did you have them checked with the computers?
I've done everything. You've been on the frontier long enough to know the setup in an EDS.
Oh, dear God, there must be something, some way.
Do you think I'd let this happen if I wasn't sure?
He tried to help me, Jerry. He tried. And it really doesn't matter. I'm not frightened anymore. Not now.
But how did you get here? I don't understand.
Well, I was going to Mimir to take a job, I thought. And now I realize I was just going because I'd be closer to where you were. Oh, Jerry, all this time...
No. Let me tell you something. Marilyn, I've always known you'd come back to me. I've known it every minute. It's what's kept me alive. I want you to hold that in your mind.
Jerry, I can't hear you.
We haven't much time. We're losing radio contact.
Jerry!
Don't cry, darling. Just know how I feel.
I do.
It's fading.
There are so many things to say. Jerry, if you can still hear me, maybe I'll come to see you again. Maybe I'll come to you in your dreams, or be the touch of a breeze, or one of those golden-winged little birds singing my silly head off. Maybe I'll be nothing you can see or hear, but you'll know I'm there. Think of me like that, Jerry. Goodbye.
Goodbye, my darling.
She sat motionless in the hush that followed. And then she looked at me.
Now?
Now. I pulled down the black lever, and the inner door of the lock slid open. She walked with her head up and the brown curls brushing her shoulders. I let her do it alone. She stepped into the lock and turned to face me, and I could see the pulse in her throat.
I'm ready.
I pulled the red lever, and there was a slight waver as the air gushed out. I thought I sensed a bump, as if something had bumped the outer door. And then there was nothing. The white hand of the closet temperature control was back at 0. A cold equation had been balanced, and I was alone in the ship.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street & Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Cold Equations, written by Tom Godwin and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Court Benson as Barton, Jay Meredith as Marilyn, Milo Bolton as Commander Delhart, Bob Hastings as Jerry Cross, Jack Arthur as Traffic Control Officer, and Walter Kinsella as the Woden Monitor. Your announcer, Bill Rippey. X-1 was directed by Ken McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production. And now, next week. In the days of the Windjammers, whalers sometimes went on cruises that lasted as long as 2 years, and so sometimes they had to resort to rough methods to gather a crew. But what of the future when a cruise to a distant star may last for 15 years or more? We hear of such a voyage next week on X minus one.
Countdown for blastoff. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X minus one. Tonight's story, Shanghaied.
Okay, very funny.
Take it over, boy. Tomorrow the old ball and chain.
Yeah. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you commit matrimony.
Come on. We came down here to Scully Square to have a little fun. We might as well be at my mother's musicale in Beacon Street. Oh, the problems of the rich. Hey, tell me, Jeff, just where does the coffin fortune come from? Pirate treasure? No, I guess it started in Nantucket. My great something or other used to be a whaler.
Oh, whaler, there she blows. A dead whale or a stove boat. Watch my trusty harpoon.
Hey, well, look out for the fort. Oh, my.
Hey, where's the money now?
Oh, I don't know. We've got a lot of commercial holdings, mills, import, export outfits, rocket lines, you know.
Mere trivia.
All right, now look, why don't we get out of this dump? We go up to the Copley Plaza. It may be stuffy, but at least the glasses are clean.
Well, you're the condemned man.
All right, you two go ahead and get in the car. I'll settle.
All right, meet you up front.
Right. Excuse me.
You want something, Bud?
Yeah, the check.
Okay. Hey, Milton, check.
They'll be right out. Right, thank you.
Hello, mate. Nice night, eh?
Oh, yeah, I suppose so.
I've been watching you. Celebrating?
Sort of.
Yes, so am I. Just got off a deep space run out to Centaurus.
Oh, that's a 15-year run, isn't it?
15 and 3 blooming months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how'd you know? You spaceman?
No, not exactly. Where's that check, barkeep?
Hang on to your hat, Bud. Milton's slow, but he's sure.
Fill it up, Charlie. Say, why don't you join me, matey? Yeah, Charlie.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, come on, won't take off a mouth.
Well,
celebrate whatever it is you're celebrating on me. Pour it, Charlie.
Okay.
Well, all right, thank you. I guess I might as well.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah, right, cheers. Oh, what was that, Marty?
Charlie special bread, eh, Charlie?
Yeah.
Well. Oh, say, look, Charlie, would you get that waiter out here? I've got to meet...
Hey, what's your hurry, matey? You got plenty of time.
Sure. Sit down.
Take it easy. You don't look so good.
No, I don't feel so good.
Yeah, now, sit right here. You feel chipper as a blooming grasshopper in a sec.
No, I've got to get outside. The car's in a hurry. Where's the check? The check? Oh.
Oh. All right, Mikey. Up on your feet. Wakey, wakey, wakey.
Oh, right. Let go of me. What's the idea?
Rise and shine and greet the dawn.
What? Where am I? What's going on here?
Come on now, Mikey. Up in there. Wakey, wakey, wakey.
Now, wait a minute. So you were at that bar, Scully Square.
Come on now. Up on deck or you'll be in trouble.
Deck? What are you talking about? Where am I?
It's hard to say exactly. Offhand, about 8 hours out of Atlantic Spaceport.
Atlantic Spaceport? Now, look, what kind of a joke is this? If Alan and Peter think this is funny... What ship is this?
R.S. Michael M. Rafferty, coffin line.
Oh, coffin line. Well, that makes it easy. Now, you've got to put back to port.
Forget your toothbrush, thanks.
No, listen, you runt. You take me to the captain or I'll tear you apart.
Yes, I'll grab my jacket.
All right, get moving.
Sure, my dear. I'll take you to the captain. But you're going to be sorry.
Morton, what the devil are you doing on the bridge? Get below before
Right away, sir. Only this here gentleman asked to see you.
Yeah, that's right, Captain. There's been a mistake made. I'm afraid it was supposed to be a joke.
Oh?
Yes, you see, I'm going to be married today, and I suppose the boys thought it'd be funny to make me miss the ceremony. I'm sure it won't be too much trouble to have you drop me off back at the Atlantic Spaceport.
What? Morton, what is this?
Well, simple, Captain. He wants you to turn the ship around, that's all.
Now, look, if there's any trouble with your superior, I'm sure I can fix it up. You see, I'm Jeff Coffin.
Yeah?
Well, you don't understand. My father is Cyrus Coffin. He owns this ship.
Oh, he does, Morton, get this drunk below.
Now, just a minute. I can understand you not believing me, but I can identify my... Hey, where's my wallet? I've been robbed. Well, now, look, Captain, wait a minute. All you have to do is radio back and check.
Mr. Black, remove this man from the bridge.
Yes, but...
Aye, sir. You're the captain, Buster.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Let go of me. This is no way to treat a passenger.
Passenger? Huh. Wake up, sonny boy. You're one of the crew. Now get below.
All right now, mate. Grab yourself a buffer. Get to work on this deck light.
If they can't get away with this, this is kidnapping.
Perhaps yes, perhaps no. Now get this here deck nice and shiny. We might even see about some grub. I'll be back in 2 hours. And mind you, I want to be able to see me bloomin' reflection in it.
Better polish that deck plate.
They can't get away with this.
Oh, law says once you sign on, you're under absolute orders. I looked it up.
Yeah, but I didn't sign on. I was kidnapped.
You won't be able to prove it. Come on, mister, please. I didn't get anything to eat yet today, so give me a break, huh?
Oh, all right. What do you do, run the buffer over it?
Yeah, that's right. Like this.
You sign on?
Yeah, I ran away from home.
How old are you?
16. 30 when we get back.
Yeah. What do you mean, 30? We're headed for Mars, aren't we?
Only to refuel. We're outbound to Centaurus.
Oh, no, it can't be. Well, that's a 15-year run. Morton! I've got to get back.
No use.
I'm getting married. My bride-to-be will think I'm dead. Martin! Morton!
What's up here? You want me to call Mr. Black again? He'll give you what for.
Listen to me, Morton. Listen, I've got to get back to Earth. I can't disappear for 15 years.
Oh, is that the fact?
Look, we stop at Mars, right?
Yes, and you'll be below decks under lock and key.
Listen to me. If I can make it worth your while, will you get me off at Marsport?
Jumping ship, huh? That's real naughty, mate.
$1,000?
Why, what would I tell me poor old mother and dad say?
$2,000.
5 in advance.
What do you mean in advance? You're probably the one that rolled me for my wallet.
I'll find a way. They don't believe your young Coffin, but maybe I know better. All right, it's a deal.
Look, Mr. Coffin, can you take me with you? I didn't realize what it would be like. I can pay my share. I could work it out for you, or maybe borrow money. I couldn't stand 15 years. I'd go crazy.
All right, sure. What about it, Morton?
Boy'll cost you another 1,000.
You cheap swindler.
Here now, Mr. Coffin. I'm all what stands between you and a lovely pleasure cruise for 15 years. So I'll thank you to treat me with the respect and politeness what a gentleman like myself deserves.
by for landing procedure.
All right, now. Listen careful. This is the cable locker for the grappling anchor.
Right.
When she lands, this hatch will open. Cables go out. Don't get yourself caught in them. You'll be tore apart.
All right, we've got that.
You sure we can get out?
Now, you just do what I say. We drop down to the blast pit. Nobody will be there. Lie low in the pit till dark. Got that?
Right. Now, look, Morton, I'll tell the patrol you helped us get away. That'll help you when they catch up with this gang.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. I've got to get to my station now. Luck.
Thanks. Thanks, Mr. Morton.
There's the landing horn. Now keep clear of that cable, Joey. Here we go.
Right. Hold on tight. There goes the grappling cable.
Yeah. All right, come on. Drop through the hatch. It's about 6 feet. All right, it's clear. Hurry up.
Here I come.
You all right?
Yeah, twisted my ankle. It's all right.
All right, that's the blast pit. Get going.
Right.
Well, we're all right so far. The ship hides us.
Here's the pit.
All right, now get down so they can't see you. Wait a minute. I hear somebody coming. Keep still.
Maybe we better look.
Look, if we stick our heads up over the edge, they'll see us sure. Now keep down and keep still.
I hear him.
Well. Look what we have here. 2 little babes in the wood. Now, you two move and I'll shoot you in the belly. Morton, you got good eyes.
Oh, I told you I saw him coming this way, Mr. Black. Jumping ship. My, that's a terrible thing to do.
Mr. Black, inform the ship's company that these 2 men have been found guilty of attempted desertion.
Desertion? You kidnapped me, you dirty crook. Don't you talk like Captain Howell that way.
I'm sentencing them to 24 hours hull watch. Take them away.
Morton, take him to the aft lock.
I said. Calm down after 24 hours hull watch.
What's hull watch?
Very simple. We put you 2 in spacesuits, shove you through the airlock on the end of a line. You sit out there and watch the hull for 24 hours. No food, no water, and the eating units in those suits are just a little bit defective. Makes it interesting along about the 18th hour.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Here we are, gentlemen. The airlock. You get in there. Got 5 minutes to get into them suits before we blow the air out. See you in 24 hours. Maybe. Welcome back to our little home.
Water.
Thirsty, eh? You should control these animals' instincts.
Get water.
Right, yeah? Yeah. Sloppy like a bloody animal.
Joey passed out. Help him.
He'll be all right. Teach your lesson, both of you. Take my advice and behave yourself. You've got 15 years to go on this here ship. You might as well make the best of it.
Hey, Morton! What do you call this
That's your supper, mighty food concentrate.
What's the idea? Only 2 months out and on concentrates already?
You complaining?
Yeah, I'm complaining. If Captain Howell's chiseling on the manifest, that's his business. But when he tries to take it out in our hide...
Keep quiet or I'll turn you into Mr. Black. Concentrate is what you get to eat from here on out. Now shove it into your face and keep quiet.
Suppose I shove it into your face and see how you like it. What's going on here? What's going on? Morton.
Struck me, Archwant.
48 hours hull watch. All right, what are you all looking at? Get back into your places. Morton, bring that man down to the aft airlock.
It's murder, that's what. Plain murder.
Space Code gives a 30-hour limit for punishment.
They didn't even have a burial. Just shoved them out the lock.
Well, if the owners knew about this, they'd stop it.
Fat lot of good that's going to do us during the next 15 years.
Wait a minute, we could get the ship back to Mars.
No, 2 weeks after we landed, we'd be hung. That's what Space Code says about mutiny. And if they catch you in the act, they shoot you down and no question.
All right, I'm willing to take that chance. We're going to let Black and Howell kick us around for 15 years? Why don't we take over and head back?
Right.
I'm for it.
Let's go.
You bet. Going to representing gentlemen. Discussion. Talking about the captain, like...
Grab him.
Because... Get up!
Throw him in the
Yes. Oh, have you all out of the Ellen ship? Also, your knife round in dead water.
Show him my oil rag, Morton.
Well, that's done it. He's an officer.
Who cares?
Yeah, we've got to move now. Joey?
Yeah.
You get up the radio room and smash the set before they can get a message out.
Right.
Pop, you get aft. Tell the engine watch.
Yes.
The rest of us will go up on the bridge.
How about this, Rat?
Tie him up. Speed counts now. We've got to take over before they know what hit them. All right, careful. We've got to surprise him.
Don't worry, we'll get him cold.
Yeah, shh, quiet. Sparks were sending when I got in, but I knocked them out and smashed the set. We're okay.
Good boy. All right, come on. Right past the bulkhead.
Look out!
The blast bulkhead.
Yeah, we're cut off from the bridge.
We'll never get through that.
They must have found out somehow.
The intercom. Black can turn it on from the bridge. He heard the whole thing.
We better get out of here.
What'll they do?
I don't know.
We've got all the controls up there. We can shut down the driver, but we can't steer.
Yeah. We better dog down the hatch behind us.
All right, men. Captain Howell's giving you 1 minute to give up quiet.
In a pig's eye, Black.
You'll hang for mutiny, every one of you.
What do we do now?
Quiet. They can hear everything on the intercom.
I pull the jack out.
That's the boy. Look, we've got to get through to the bridge.
It's a Mexican standoff. We can't get at them. They can't get at us.
What's that?
Canary. The pressure's down.
It's Howell. He blew the hatch on the mess hall section. Just opened her up and let the air out.
Morton, you know what Black's going to do? He's going to bleed off the air down here.
Serves you all right. If I had my way, I'd see you all out on the hull till you froze still.
You're forgetting something, Morton. You're back here with us.
What do you mean?
If Black and Howell blow out compartments one by one or bleed the air off, you'll get it too.
They'll take care of me. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, you think so, huh? Joey?
Yeah.
Plug that intercom back in.
Right.
Captain? Captain?
Giving up?
We've got Morton back here.
Yeah?
If you try anything on us, he'll get it too.
What am I supposed to do, cry?
You don't care if he dies?
That's his problem. We're going to drop the oxygen level 5%.
Don't do that to me. Captain! Captain!
It's unfortunate that you were captured, Morton, but the security of my ship comes first.
You mean you don't care? You'd see me dead.
Precisely.
Well, you can't. It's murder, that's what. I'm not one of them. You can't kill me. You can't.
Joey, pull the intercom plug. All right, there you are, Morton. They'd kill you just as soon as look at you. Now listen, we've got to get through that bulkhead. You know this ship. There must be some way.
Morton, we're your only chance. Get us through the bulkhead.
All right. All right, why shouldn't I? They killed me.
Well, then there is a way to get through.
An emergency release.
Uh-huh.
They don't tell crewmen about it to keep them from breaking through in an engine blast and leaking radiation to the bridge.
Well, then let's get going. We've got to get through that bulkhead before Howell cuts the air down and gets us all. Here's the bulkhead, Morgan. Where's the release?
Under the floor panel. You can pry it up.
All right, hurry.
I got it. She's up.
Wax on a K. Ready?
All right, Morton. Open it up.
Here goes.
Morton! He's dead. Electrocuted, and the bulkhead's still closed.
He didn't even get to turn that key. It killed him instantly. Harry.
Yeah.
Have you got your watch gloves? They're insulated.
Oh, yeah, sure. Get Morton out of the way.
Don't touch him, Joey. He's got the current through him.
I'll shove him away with the gloves.
All right, now. Stay Stand by. Here goes a key.
All right, let's go. Get him. Come on there. Stand back there. Come on, get him. Stand back. All right, Flexi, how you like this? Grab the guns. Joey, look out. Let go of that gun, Hal. All right, hold them both.
You don't have to worry about Black. I got him square with a wrench.
We better tie up the captain.
Yeah. Well, what do you think you're going to do now?
We're going to turn around and go back home.
I don't think so. I burned the navigation tapes, and none of you can recalculate them.
Why, you'll
just wander in space till the fuel gives out. You'll die right here on this ship.
Jeff, the interceptor screens went on.
Meteor?
No, it's a ship. A patrol ship coming up on us.
Oh, they must have got an SOS off.
Yeah.
Well, that's so sure that's
Well, wait a minute. We don't have to worry. We can just tell them the truth.
You're not familiar with space code, young man. Mutiny is punishable by immediate execution. In other words, they don't ask questions. They just shoot.
He's right, Jeff. We're through.
Can we get away?
Not from a patrol ship. Already sent us a heave-to flash. If we run, they'll blow us out of space.
I'm afraid your mutiny is about over with, gentlemen. They'll be aboard in an hour. And 10 minutes after that, you'll all be dead.
Nobody move. Sergeant, take a squad and secure the ship. Collect all weapons and post a guard in the engine room.
Yes, sir. You, Brow, William, Ossowski, come on.
Well, I'm delighted to see you, Major. I wasn't quite sure my SOS had gotten through.
Oh? You're Captain Howell?
That's right. And I can swear out the affidavit of mutiny.
I don't think a mutiny charge will stand up, Howell. Not with a relief of command warrant out for you. I think we'll just forget about it.
But you can't do that. Space code is clear. You recorded my SOS.
No, we didn't, Howell.
Then how'd you get here?
They sent us after you to get Jeff Coffin. Where is he?
I'm Jeff Coffin.
Jeff, we had a missing persons alarm for you, and then when a check you signed turned up at Marsport.
A check?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. I gave one to Morton to help me get away.
And he sold it to a fence for half face value. We traced it back to the ship. Coffin, I've got orders to escort you personally. We're taking you back to Earth.
Can I send out a message, Major?
Of course. Oh, that reminds me, Jeff. I've got one for you from your fiancée. She said to tell you that she didn't object to a bachelor party in principle, but she did think 6 months was stretching it a bit.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
One by one, the members of the Gregory party have seen various portions of the huge Euclidean city below the sea. In one of the vast natural caves, which the Euclideans have improved and strengthened, Mrs. Gregory and Joan are waiting anxiously for Captain Bradford and Jerry Hall. We last saw the captain and Jerry making a vain attempt to rescue G-47 from the swirling waters rushing in upon them, as a series of explosions rocked the walls of the cavern. A steel door has slammed shut, cutting off their view of the flooded passageway, and Mrs. Gregory and Joan stand helplessly waiting for someone to appear. The explosions are still being heard in the distance.
I think we should try to get in there, Joan.
No, Mother, that is foolish.
But Tex is in that passageway and Jerry.
You cannot help by getting hysterical. G-47 and the captain will do everything possible to save themselves, and Jerry as well.
But if we opened that door, we might get them out.
And if we opened that door, the waters of the ocean would rush in and flood this entire city. Every life in Euclidia would be lost.
And we are just going to stand here and do nothing?
That is not wise either. Let us go to a higher level in one of the other passageways.
Very well. But it's so useless, just a waste of time.
We do not know that. Come, let us walk as rapidly as possible.
This is one time when the all-wise Euclideans got a little taste of their own medicine. Their cleverly designed volcanic eruption is just as apt to destroy their city as it is to drive away any boats on the surface of the water.
I know the Euclidean thoroughness of planning much better than you, Mother. It is only a remote possibility that misfortune has befallen G47.
Even if he could manage to escape, what of Jerry and the captain?
The captain's life is very valuable to G47 until his formula is secured for the Euclideans. If G47 is safe, Jerry and the captain are also safe.
I hope you're right, Joan, dear. But I can't feel very cheerful about it.
I think we will soon have information of a more definite nature. Is this not Cheops approaching us?
It looks like him, and he's in a hurry.
He does appear to be excited, and that is not like one of the scientists.
If they've had bad luck with their artificial volcanic eruption, you may see a number of these Euclideans jarred out of their irritating smugness.
It is Cheops, the master builder, who approaches us.
Ah, there you are. Come, Cleaster. Come, Mrs. Gregory. You will follow me.
Follow you where?
Do you not know enough of Euclidean procedure to refrain from questioning the actions of Cheops?
Come, Mother. We will follow Cheops. He may lead us to something of interest, and surely anything is preferable to our present state of uneasiness.
You have retained something of our teachings, Cleaster.
Oh, very well. I won't forget your greatness or my extreme humility in your presence. But I would like to know if you have any information as to whether the captain and Jerry Hall escaped that flooded chamber.
I have no information, and am not interested in securing any. Their absence fails to annoy me as greatly as their presence would.
G47 is with them.
What?
G47 is in that flooded chamber with the captain and Jerry.
Then come. We must hasten to the control room. Come with me, that you may show me the point at which they were last seen.
You're excited enough now.
Naturally. G47 must be saved.
Well, I don't agree with you as to that. But as you'll probably be forced to save Tex and Jerry at the same time, we'll help you.
I think we are now at the same level as the corridor they were imprisoned in.
That is well. We will enter this control room. From here we may command a view of the surface through our prism reflectors. Enter.
What a remarkable room. It looks almost like a small moving picture theater.
That is rather a good description of it. On the steel wall before you, you will see moving objects, which are indeed similar to your motion pictures. But these articulated views are in the fourth dimension and are direct reproductions of the actions now taking place on the surface of the water. I will establish contact at once. Observe that wall.
Mother, look.
Yes, Joan, I'm watching.
There are a number of shadows appearing on that wall.
They're taking shape. Joan, those shadows are ships, big ships.
You are observing the movements of the various vessels rapidly leaving this position. Apparently, they have no liking for active volcanoes as an anchorage.
Those are the ships which came to rescue us?
Yes, Joan, dear. Tex didn't tell you and Jerry all his plans, as he didn't want to raise your hopes and possibly have them dashed. But the ships you see sailing away, obviously under forced draft, are light cruisers and destroyers from several of the largest nations in the world.
Now, there you have it, Mrs. Gregory. 7 heavily armed vessels from 7 powerful nations in your puny world have followed your directions to the location of Euclidia. They found no island at that position, but they did find an active volcano. So these brave ships are sailing away, quite satisfied that if there ever was an island here, it has been destroyed by the eruption. Your friends have made their last attempt to rescue you, and Euclidia now numbers your party among its permanent residents.
Oh, Joan, dear.
I'm so sorry, Mother.
All of those countries helping so splendidly to search out and destroy this mad place to bring peace and safety to the world, only to have their plans overthrown by an artificial volcanic eruption.
Mother, look! Watch that wall.
There are new shadows appearing on it.
You will observe those shadows carefully. The view you now have is being transmitted through a steel wall beyond this room. You are viewing the pressure channel from which you escaped, and within which G47 and your friends are now confined.
Joan, Tex, Jerry, that place is full of water. Their bodies are pressed against the ceiling.
Mother, you must not allow yourself to act this way.
But Tex and Jerry...
If you will retain your mental balance for a moment, Mrs. Gregory, and give all your attention to the projection before you, you will note that there is at least 2 inches of space between the faces of these men and the ceiling of that corridor.
Yes, Mother. Do you not observe that?
Yes, I see that now. And I suppose a good swimmer might have floated on his back and continued to breathe easily in that still water.
Precisely.
But the pressure, the air pressure would be unbearable.
It would indeed, if it were not for the fact that I, Cheops, the master builder, designed that room, and others which serve the same purpose. The ceiling is of porous steel, permitting air to escape at a lower pressure than is harmful to the human body.
Then they're all right?
Of course they are, Mother. If Cheops isn't worried about G47, you may be sure Jerry and the captain are quite safe.
Precisely. Now, if you will continue to watch those shadow vision images, you will observe the water level receding as I advance this control.
How soon will they be free?
Watch and ask no questions.
Mother, the water is receding.
Yes, it is. Rapidly, too. And I can see all three of the men moving in the water.
They're all perfectly safe now.
That water is going down rapidly. Now Jerry is turning over to swim.
Note the look of relief that comes over his face.
Oh, I don't blame him. Now Tex and G47 are both turning over. Their feet will soon touch the floor. Oh, Joan, I'm so glad.
It will be a matter of less than 120 seconds until your friends will be free to enter this room.
2 minutes. That's a wonderful performance, Cheops.
The secrets of the builders of the Great Pyramids have come down through the ages to me. The building of a simple room such as that one is child's play to me.
That's something I want you to explain to me when you have time, Cheops. Did your namesake actually build pyramids?
Mrs. Gregory, your attempt at humor is in very poor taste, as my displeasure would mean your life.
Please, Mother, do not anger him.
I didn't mean to. And my question was perfectly sincere. Our educational system has conflicting testimony rather generously scattered through it. One of the most recently discussed theories is that Khufu, or Cheops, did not build the Great Pyramid. In fact, modern science is striving to prove this.
You are not deliberately attempting to antagonize me? You are sincere?
Perfectly sincere. In my library at home, I have no less than 6 volumes, all accepted as authority by recognized historians. And no 2 of the 6 agree, even reasonably, as to the time of the building of the Great Pyramid, the part Cheops played in this building, or even the fact that this was the first pyramid.
So, those conditions of confusion and ignorance actually exist in your world. I have been told as much about the Western world, but it seemed incredible. We of the East are definite in our ancient history, even in the everyday world. You have aroused my interest. At some future time, I will be glad to demonstrate my proofs as to the actual building of the Great Pyramid. For the present, I may tell you briefly that Cheops was the builder of the Great Pyramid, which was also the first pyramid. He started work in the year 3949 B.C., when but 20 years of age, and completed it in 20 years. The Sagara, commonly called the Step Pyramid, was not started until 3000 B.C., 8 years after the death of Cheops, and 29 years after the completion of the Great Pyramid of Cheops.
Is that satisfactory to you, Mother?
More than that, it's amazing. And I'm beginning to wonder just how many things we accept in our world that may be poorly stated to us.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, Jerry.
Oh, Mother, is it Jerry?
Sure is. And boy, have we had some experience.
Young man, do you realize you have rushed unbidden into one of the most carefully guarded rooms in Euclidia?
Oh, nobody was guarding it when I came in. Hey, you been watching moving pictures here?
Well, something like that. Where is Tex?
You will leave immediately. All of you. Get out. Get out.
Mother, come. Cheops is angry.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry I busted in here like that. But if you only knew what happened to us.
We know, Jerry, but let us leave at once and discuss it out in the corridor.
Yes, meddling fools. Leave at once.
Well, I guess we can talk out here all right. I didn't mean to make the old guy mad.
Forget it, Jerry. That's just his Euclidean temperament. But how is Tex?
Oh, he's okay. He went with G47 to look at those ships on the surface. Through some kind of a periscope, I guess.
Through prism reflectors, Jerry. We have just seen the ship sail away.
Yeah, I guess the volcano eruption these guys put on sure scared them away. But give me a chance to tell us what happened to us. When Tex and I rushed back into the hallway after G47, the water started coming in.
We have seen all that, Jerry.
Huh? You what?
That's right, Jerry. Cheops took us into the room where you found us, and with some very wonderful equipment, which he referred to as prism reflectors, he showed us the room in which you were floating on the top of the water.
Yes, Jerry, and we could see that you had very little space in which to breathe.
Well, all that's over now, and we're all right. The important thing is those ships that were looking for the island.
I'm afraid that's all over, too, Jerry.
It is indeed. All over.
Yeah, they're gone. And right now, I'll bet their radios are telling the world that the Magic Island was destroyed by that volcano.
If they will even believe there was an island, Jerry.
The Magic Island is a very real place to Mrs. Gregory and her little party of loyal friends. The finding of her daughter Joan on the island should have brought the story of the 14-year search to a happy ending, but such is far from true. Jerry and Joan, with Mrs. Gregory and the captain, found it comparatively easy to escape from the island. Now their position is much more difficult. 400 feet below the surface of the water, 200 feet below the spot where the artificial island is hidden in a volcanic crater, the mysterious city of Euclidia, a complete community, capable of sustaining life indefinitely, holds our friends tightly in its grip. And escape seems far away.
Come, Mother, we may as well return to our quarters.
Well, sure, Mrs. Gregory, come on.
I hate to leave Tex without knowing just where he is.
Well, we couldn't help him any if we did know.
I suppose you're right, Jerry.
He is indeed, Mother.
Very well, Joan, dear. I'll wait quietly for news of the captain. But why return to our quarters? We may as well continue our inspection tour of this underwater city and learn all we can about it.
It is time for our lunch.
Oh, boy. Grub.
Grub?
Yeah, you know, grub, chow, victuals, eats, foods.
Jerry Hall, if you would only say what you mean.
Oh, I did. You just don't understand English.
Do you understand it?
Do I?
Please,
Why...
Joan and Jerry, don't start another of your arguments now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Gregory. Come on, let's go to lunch.
I don't feel that I guess anything.
Oh, sure you do. You've got to eat something whether you feel like it or not.
Yes, Mother. It is foolish to deprive yourself of the nourishment your body needs merely to give your mental depression full sway.
Hey, listen.
It is indeed time for our lunch, and we must hurry to eat it as we will be given only a limited time.
Very well, Joan. Are you sure which way we go?
Oh, that's easy. We take that elevator right over there. One nice thing about this underwater city, they don't hide things as much as they did up in the island.
That is true, Jerry. We will be able to find our quarters at any time.
It's very obvious that the Euclideans don't feel it necessary to take any further precautions against our escaping. They know we can't escape.
Oh, gee, Mrs. Gregory. Quit acting so down and out. We're not licked yet.
Perhaps you don't realize when you're licked, Jerry, but I feel rather thoroughly beaten.
We are in no danger, Mother, and we have unlimited time in which to plan. There is still hope.
Oh, sure there is. But here's the elevator. I know it's the right one because the girl submarine commander showed it to me.
We must go quickly or the luncheon will be removed.
Yeah. We have to eat just when these fellows want you to or they take it away from you. Now, hang on tight, Mrs. Gregory. The commander said this elevator was mighty fast.
If she thought it fast enough to warrant her warning, it would probably be terrifying.
There are a number of handles which we may grip with our hands.
Yeah, and those handles look pretty shiny, like somebody's been hanging on plenty. Well, get set. Here we go.
Can you operate this, Jerry?
Well, I can try. Well, I guess I can run it all right.
Well, at least we've been shot upward some distance in almost no time.
I think this will be where we leave the elevator.
I know blame well it's where I leave it. That was too fast for me.
We are on the proper level. The section containing our quarters is just ahead.
You're a good guesser, Jerry.
Oh, I must be. I sure didn't feel any too sure when that elevator would land us, though.
We are now walking on the noiseless steel. The corridor outside our quarters is noiseless. I think we are correct.
Yes. That should be the door right over there.
Hey, wait a minute. Sounds like another elevator coming.
Well, well, well.
Oh, Tex, I'm so glad to see you.
Did you come up in one of those rocket elevators?
I sure did. And when those things take you places, you really get there.
Where have you been?
Talking to G47. I'll tell you all about his wheat. That lunch signal gives only so much time. Isn't that right, Joan?
That is correct, Captain. We will have only a few hundred seconds in which to enjoy our luncheon.
Well, maybe we can eat it in a few hundred seconds, but we sure can't enjoy it much.
This is our door, isn't it?
I think so.
We're home.
Home. Oh, Jerry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's the matter?
Mother has been very depressed, and Jerry and I have had no success in attempting to improve her frame of mind.
Oh, forget it, Pat. Now let's see what these Euclidean wizards have brought us for lunch.
Oh, boy. Fresh cantaloupe. Well, go ahead, Joan.
Go ahead?
Oh, make your wisecrack. Dig up some fancy name that none of us ever heard of for cantaloupe.
It is not necessary to correct you at this time. Cantaloupe is the proper designation for this form of muskmelon, though your pronunciation of the name leaves something to be desired.
Okay, what is it?
Cantaloupe, the name being derived from the castle in Europe where this melon was first grown, Cantaloupe Castle.
Well, cantaloupe. It's swell.
Indeed it is, Jerry. Ice cold and perfectly ripened.
I have to hand it to these Euclidean gardeners. They make food taste better than we can. They grow it under artificial light.
Are you sure this melon was grown here, Tex?
Positive. G47 told me that everything eaten in Euclidia was of their own production.
It sure couldn't be any better if it had grown under real sunlight.
I think you are all making a mistake when you refer to the sunlight of this underwater city as artificial.
How can we be mistaken, Joan? We're under the ocean. This light doesn't come down through the water. We know it's manufactured here. Therefore, it's artificial. Surely there's no argument as to that.
Afraid not, Joan. It just isn't sunlight. Not real sunlight.
It does the work all right, though.
Precisely. It performs all the functions of sunlight. Therefore, it is sunlight. The Euclidean light covers a far larger spectrum than sunlight, particularly in the ultraviolet wavelengths. And when properly controlled by quartz filters, the amount of health-giving ultraviolet light may be accurately regulated and not depend on the season of the year, the altitude, condition of the atmosphere, relation of the sun to the zenith, and countless other factors which prevent people in your world receiving a constant amount of the beneficial shorter waves.
All right, Joan, I give up. These Euclideans certainly look healthy enough, even if they do live under the sea. And if they can do everything with artificial light that we can do with the sun, there's plenty of room for argument over the use of the word artificial.
There's nothing artificial about this salad either. The celery is so crisp it sounds like a windstorm when I bite it.
No, I haven't heard it. Bite harder.
Oh, I think I'm making enough noise, Jerry.
Now, that's better, Pat. That laugh did you good.
Indeed it did, Mother. You must not allow yourself to become so sad and worried.
I'll try to remember that, Joan. After all, we're all in the same predicament, and if the rest of you can be cheerful about it, there's no reason why I shouldn't.
Now you're talking. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I don't see how anybody could be anything but cheerful with a meal like this in front of them.
I would say there was but little of the meal left in front of us at this time.
That's right, Joan. We've certainly eaten as if we never expected to get another meal.
Well, looks like we didn't eat this one any too fast, either.
Why, the table is sinking through the floor.
It is, indeed. We were late in arriving for our lunch.
Oh, so that's where all this food comes from. I thought of noiseless servants jumping in and out with huge trays while we weren't watching.
This thing works just like a dumbwaiter.
It seems to. I suppose there is a passageway below this section where food is delivered to the living quarters from the kitchen.
Well, I'll bet you're right, but I'll miss my guess if they call them anything as common as kitchens here.
You may be sure they do not. On Euclidia, the chambers where the food is prepared are referred to as the dietary laboratories.
Uh-huh. I knew it.
These scientists just can't resist dressing everything up in technical terms, can they?
They do seem to lean that way. But if all our meals are as appetizing as that one was, I'm not at all interested in what they call their kitchens.
Me too. I mean, me neither. Oh, no, neither am I. Oh, something.
Oh, that floor section nearly caught my foot.
I was watching for it. I knew they wouldn't leave a hole where that table went down. Well, now that we've had our lunch in 200 seconds, or whatever it was, let's talk about what we've accomplished so far.
Well, we know that the volcano eruption that the scientists put on scared away that fleet of ships Johnson had come down here to try and rescue us.
And we know that with them went our last hope of rescue.
No doubt of that. We'll never be allowed to reach any means of communication here. But there's always the chance of escape.
I agree with you, Captain. Escape from this city below the sea would seem difficult and may prove an impossibility. But until that is proven, I feel that we should hope and continue to learn all we may about the city.
Good girl, Joan.
That's the spirit. And, Pat, I want you to get in line with the rest of us. We'll get out of this place if it takes a year or 10 years.
I'll do my part, Tex. And for myself, I'm not so greatly worried. I've spent over 14 years looking for Joan, and now that I've found her, I can be fairly content anywhere with her, and with you, Tex. But it's Jerry I'm so worried about.
Oh, gee, I'm all right. Why worry about me? Well, I'm a swell time here, and I can stand anything the rest of you can.
Well, it isn't that, Jerry. Your father will be terribly distressed over your absence. If only we could get word to him that we're alive and well. The poor man must be nearly out of his mind.
Yeah, I guess it is sort of rough on Dad.
We will advise your father the instant we are allowed to operate any means of communication.
We sure will. Now, in the meantime, let's plan and keep thinking.
Did you learn anything of value to us in talking to G47?
Plenty, but I haven't figured out how we can use it.
Oh, what was that, Captain?
Well, the one thing I was most worried about, as far as our escape is concerned, was the fact that the island is submerged and is going to stay that way for an indefinite period. At least a few months, until the world has forgotten us completely and given us up for lost. I thought all the submarines, planes, radios, and everything we might use for an escape were in the island. But they're not.
They're not?
They're not.
Oh, that is splendid, Captain Bradford. There are means to escape from this city, where we may have access to them?
The means are here, though our having access to them may be something else.
Well, I'll bet it will be. Don't forget we stole one of their submarines the last time we escaped. And when they got it back, after Joan blew it up with those bombs in the Catalina Channel, well, it wasn't anything but a bunch of junk.
And G47 will be very bitter over the loss of his submarine.
Naturally. They are expensive beyond belief and difficult to construct.
I thought of all those reasons for the old boy to be mad at us, and he surprised me plenty when he thanked me for spoiling his submarine.
He did what?
G47 thanked you for almost destroying that beautiful boat?
He did, and he meant it.
But I do not understand that, Captain Bradford. G47 cared more for those submarines than anything on Euclidia.
Right, and that's why he was grateful to us. We showed him that his idol had feet of clay. The submarines weren't as perfect as he thought, or we wouldn't have been able to render that one helpless so easily. He thinks we've done him a big favor in showing up the weakness in that boat, and he's asked me to help him design another, eliminating the faults we found in that one.
Tex, it's almost unbelievable. G47 has asked you to help him on a new submarine.
He has?
Oh, boy! There's your chance to begin to plan for our escape.
And more than that, I'm to be allowed to see the rocket ships.
They actually have rocket ships?
I told you of the rocket-propelled airship.
Better than that, Joan. They have rocket ships built like submarines which will operate under the water, on the water, or in the air. And those rocket ships are somewhere in this underwater city, somewhere that we'll finally locate. And when we do...
When we do, we'll know how to escape from you.
Now let's get back to the world of the future. Back to the municipal spaceport at Niagara, capital of 25th century America, where a terror-stricken crowd is watching a gigantic machine called the mechanical mole move sluggishly across the landing field. In the front of it, a thermic radiation projector, a gigantic heat ray, begins to glow ominously. Here we go, 500 years into the future.
Doctor, the mechanical mole is moving over toward the edge of the crowd.
We've got to stop it, Doctor, before it runs over those people.
Stop that? It's impossible. The heat ray is beginning to glow. It's Kane and Ardella, all right.
They won't stop it moving, Doctor. Look!
Oh, that's quivering. Look, burn those people in that track. Somehow we've got to keep it from reaching them. Now, look. The heat ray is off now.
And the mole is started back toward the middle of the field.
Until Kane and Ardella at the controls, it won't stay away from that crowd for long. If only Buck were here.
Yes, sir. Captain Rogers will find a way to stop that thing.
Wait. Carbog.
Yes, sir?
Come with me quick. Back to the main rocket ship hangar.
What for, Doctor?
Oh, don't waste time talking. Come along.
Yes, sir.
Wilma.
Yes?
Get to the radio unit in this hangar. Call for the rocket control fleet. Huh? Have them assemble at 1,000 feet directly above this field.
Yes, sir. Right away.
Look. The mole is just going around in a circle out there.
Yes, but it may not do it for long. You've got a Y-12 space fighter in this main hangar, haven't you?
3 or 4 of them. But the RF-13s carry bigger disintegrators.
No, I want the Y-12 for its black ray.
Black ray?
Yes. We'll climb up above it and cover that mechanical mole with utter darkness.
Yes.
Then the men in the space fleet can hold it in position with non-recoil energy projectors.
Then what?
Yes. Now, here's the hangar. Pull the switch to open the big sliding doors so we can get the ship out.
It's right over here, Doctor.
That's it. And here's the Y-12 just waiting for us.
Here, Doctor. I'll open that metal door for you.
I've got it. Get in, quick.
Yes, sir. Only I wonder if Kane and Ardella have started that mechanical mole charging at the people again.
Carbog, get in here.
Yes, sir.
Now, here we go. And I hope some of the space fleet is on its way over.
Wow! We'll smash into the top of the hangar door. Hey, but look.
Yes, I see. The mole is standing still down there.
Yes, sir. The people are starting to move closer to it again.
Oh, we've got to stop that. I'll call Wilma down there at the other hangar.
It's no use, Doctor. She's down there on the field again. Too far away to hear the call.
Well, then perhaps she'll tell your men to keep that crowd back.
Oh, wait. Here they come, sir.
What?
The rocket fleet.
Oh, good. Rocket fleet attention. Rocket fleet attention.
Captain Wilson speaking, Dr. Ure. Rocket fleet standing by.
Yes, sir. They're in a big circle right above us. Must be 8 or 10 of them ships.
Good. Wilson, I want you to keep the circle you formed directly above the big machine you see down there on the flying field.
Right, sir.
I'm going to shoot down a black ray to envelop that machine in darkness. And I want your ships to send down paralysis rays on with full power behind them. I'll give you the order.
Must be Kane and Ardella in the mechanical mold.
Oh, then you know about their escape?
Yes, sir. The rest of the rocket fleet is out in space trying to pick up their trail.
The reason your ships will have to use all available power behind the paralysis rays is because the mole has an elasto-impervium hull.
Will the rays penetrate that at all?
Only a tremendous concentration of them. Even then, they may take some time to penetrate. That's why I'll cover the mole with a black ray to discourage its moving around.
We're all ready, Dr. Ure. My pilot's been in contact with the other ships on a separate wavelength.
Good. Here goes the black ray. Turn it on, Corbett.
Right, sir.
Careful. Careful. There's Wilma down there. It might blind her. Stumble into the path of the mechanical mole.
No. Look. Now she's running over toward the hangar.
Perhaps away from the mole.
It's not moving out of the black ray, but she's certainly in a hurry.
Never mind that now. Wilson. Hello, Wilson.
Standing by for orders, Doctor.
Have you got full power behind the paralysis rays?
Yes, sir.
Then have the men in your ship turn them on.
Right, sir. Orders for all ships.
It may take a few minutes, Corbett, but the high concentration of those rays is bound to get through that hull down there enough to be effective.
I should think so. Coming from the wall and control ships.
Now, cut off the black ray a moment so we can see the mole again. And let the fleet men check on their aim with the paralysis rays.
Now?
Now.
Hey, look.
Yes, I see. Kane and Ardella found out how to make the mechanical mold drill its way down into the earth.
By using the heat ray on the front of it.
Yes. They'll get out of range of the fleet's paralysis rays.
Underground.
Exactly. There's only one thing to do. Captain Wilson. Calling Captain Wilson.
See, Doctor, it's going into the ground. Our paralysis rays won't be able to
Wilson,
affect...
had your ships drop down to 100 feet in their present circle formation.
Yes?
Instead of paralysis rays, they're to use force rays, non-recoil energy projectors. That will keep the mole from moving any further.
Even down there under the ground?
Even under the ground. Do it now.
Right, sir.
And what about us, Doctor?
We've covered with our heat ray.
You didn't break them in there.
No, the hull of the mole is too well insulated against heat. But it'll melt the ground around it.
I see. Then you let the ground re-harden around it.
Exactly, that's right. It'll be locked tightly in a huge area of solidified rock. Here goes the heat ray.
Doing it. The cloud's melting away. There's a regular pool of it. With a mole right in the middle.
Exactly. And now, in a minute or two, it'll harden. We trapped them, Corbett.
The patrol fleet is holding them right there to the fourth ray.
And they won't need it for long. See all that steam?
Yes.
An underground stream that'll cool the ground and harden it quickly.
Then they're trapped, all right. But how are we ever going to get Kane and Ardella out of there?
Well, we'll think of that later. The main thing now is that we have them.
Dr. Dewar, calling Dr. Dewar.
Oh, that's why she was running to the hangar to call you.
Calling Dr. Dewar.
Yes, Wilma.
The mole, the mechanical mole.
Completely trapped, Wilma, in solid rock.
But Doctor's in it, Doctor. Helpless. He'll suffocate.
But even the mechanical mole...
Yes, sir. He got there before we did. Climbed into the mole with Captain Brandon. While Corbett was taking a radio call in the hangar.
No wonder I didn't see him.
Then we thought it was Kane and Ardella.
Trying desperately to contact you by radio because he heard your orders to the space fleet.
But then why didn't I hear him?
The receiver on this ship is tuned to the general utility channel.
Oh, and the mole's on ultra-short wave.
You've got to help him now, quick. He's suffocating.
Suffocating?
Talk to him, Doctor, and do something to get him out of there.
All right.
Here, I'll adjust this receiver and pick up the mole now.
Thank you. Buck. Hello, Buck.
Hi, Doctor. Get me out of here, will you?
Yes.
When that black ray hit down this way, I banged into the control board. Wrecked the air conditioning controls and all the light controls, too. Now, there's not much air left in this small control cabin, so as you can...
Buck, turn on the thermic radiation projector in the nose of the mole. That will let you melt your way back to the surface.
I don't dare try it.
Why?
I can't see a thing in this darkness, and I might wreck the whole works and me with it.
Well, then listen, Buck. Buck.
Yes, sir?
The inertron control. The inertron lifting unit.
I don't know where it is.
The lever is under the left side of your control seat. Lift it upward.
Right.
Doctor, what good will that do? Can't you hear him? He can't last much longer.
Now, Buck.
Doctor!
Buck Rogers.
No air, Doctor. It's got him.
Dr. Dewar, he'll die down there.
Wait, Wilma, wait.
What are you going to do?
I don't know
You've
yet.
got to get him out of there.
Wait. Wilson. Captain Wilson.
Yes, sir. I've heard it all.
We've got to melt that ground again.
Right.
Full heat
And then melt that ground. You push the mole out with our force ray. Corbett, take the ship control.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Dewar, can't you do
Right
something?
away, Wilma.
It's suffocating down there.
Power, Cowboy. Quick, down there. I'll work the force ray.
Right there, full power.
That's it. Now the force ray. The ground comes yet. We're putting them all back up to the surface.
I'll bring us right down to target.
Yes, the plan is now. Now, down.
Here we go. Where landed, sir?
Now, quick. That crowbar there on the wall.
Crowbar?
Oh, all right. I have it. Now, here. This metal door.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We pushed them all right back on top of solid ground again. It's hot around here, too.
Oh, never mind that. Help me pry open the door of the mechanical mold.
Yes, sir.
Doctor, he opened his way outside. Can you save him?
Help us. Quick.
But I will.
Now, pull.
He's open.
Doc, are you all right?
Keep that power back.
Doc.
Hi, folks.
Water. Get some water. Get a healing ray.
Bob, there's a healing ray in the hangar number 3.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Oh, Buck. I never thought we'd get you out of there alive.
I'm all right. Just needed some air. A little fresh air.
Oh, Buck, I was afraid that...
Well, Doctor? Yes, but he works. When do we start for the center of the Earth? Hey, a trip to the center of the Earth in that mechanical mole ought to provide thrills galore. Be sure to listen to the next episode.
Presenting the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. Last week, Flash Gordon narrowly escaped death when Todd, the jealous general, fired at his back and caused him to be thrown from his horse. Queen Azora would have killed Todd with her sword, but Flash nobly spared his life. That night, Mara the spy learned of the Blue Magic Army's plan to attack the Hawkmen at daybreak and escape from the palace to warn Zarkov and tell him the reason for Flash's strange behavior. Next morning, Azura gave Flash a torpedo to hurl when he got close enough to the Hawkmen. As the attack began, Mara the spy reached the entrance to the tunnel, but just as he was about to reveal the secret of Flash's failure to recognize his friends, Mara was killed by a ray from the guns of the Blue Magic Men. At that moment, Flash Gordon was sighted riding straight for the tunnel, and Dr. Zarkov, thinking he was deserting the Blue Magic Army, went out to welcome him to the ranks of the Hawkmen. When Flash reached the entrance to the tunnel, he pulled his horse to a stop and hurled the torpedo, which immediately exploded. These thrilling adventures come to you as they are pictured each Sunday in the big full-page comic weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. A full-page comic weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue the story. With shouts and tumult, the army of Blue Magic Men with Queen Azura at their head reached the tunnel entrance.
Oh!
Azura, it worked. It worked. The enemy are frozen into icicles.
Of course it works, my prince. Didn't I tell you what would happen when you threw the torpedo?
You're wonderful, Azura. Why are men such fools as to try to fight against you?
They don't for long.
Azura, do you know this man, frozen with his hand upraised?
Do you?
No. But
what?
Well, it seems as though I should know him.
Here, drink this vodka. It will refresh you after your hard ride. Why do you think you should know this man, my prince?
When I rode up to throw the torpedo, this man came out of the tunnel with his hand upraised, just as it is now.
He may have been about to surrender.
No, he didn't say anything about surrendering.
He spoke to you? What did he say?
He called, "Flash Gordon. Flash, my friend." He surprised me so, I almost forgot to throw the torpedo.
Thank the gods you didn't forget.
Why should this man call me friend? I've never seen him before.
It was a trick, Flash. When he saw you carrying the torpedo, he tried to deceive you, to throw you off your guard.
Well, it almost worked.
You are a man of steel, my prince. What self-control you have. Ah, you are truly the man of my heart.
Am I, my beautiful one? It makes me very happy to hear you say that.
My prince. Hal,
Your Majesty.
have the prisoners carried back to my palace. Be very careful of this one.
Oh, yes, Your Majesty. Your command shall be obeyed to the letter, Your Majesty. Captain, see that this prisoner taken back to the palace in good condition.
Why are you so particular about the man who calls me?
Flash, did you ever hear of a man called Zarkov?
Zarkov? Zarkov? No, Azora, I've never heard of him. Who is he?
That is the man who called to you. In his own country, he is a wizard. That wall of chemical ice, which protected him and his men from our combustion rays, is an example of his magic skill.
I don't wonder you handle him with care. He should be a most valuable man to have around.
You see my point exactly. I shall have Tal revive him when they get back to the palace. And by the way, Flash.
Yes, Azora?
The fumes of the torpedo sometimes cause strange reactions. So if you meet this Zarkov and he insists on calling you friend, remember that was the last thing on his mind before the torpedo exploded.
I quite understand, Azora.
Good. And now, my victorious prince, shall we celebrate?
Back in the palace, Tal carried out the Witch Queen's order. He strapped the frozen Zarkov to a table, then he tipped it into the rays of an electro-therapeutic revivifier.
Take care of this one, she said. I wonder why. Has her taste changed from youth to middle age? If so, I must see what I can do to win her favor. You are thawing out, are you? Good. I'll give you a little more heat. How's that, stranger?
Oh, be careful. The current's on full strength. You know what that may do?
Oh, yes, I didn't notice the indicator. Be very careful of this one, she said. Yes, Your Majesty. We'll take care of him. You are coming around, are you? All right, stranger. Loose the strap, slave. Come on now. Yes. Well, stranger, get on your feet.
Flash Gordon. Flash, my friend.
Flash Gordon is not here.
Who are you? What has happened? Where am I?
You are a prisoner of Azura, Queen of Magic, and your friend Flash Gordon captured you.
Now I know you.
Stand back. I have my sword point against your breast. One move and I'll run you through.
I came to rescue Flash Gordon.
Rescue him. He doesn't need to be rescued.
You mean? Tell me the truth, you wizard of darkness. Has Flash turned traitor?
He has drunk the Queen's magic drug and has forgotten you and his sweetheart, Dale Arden, and even his own identity.
Thank the gods. I was afraid the change was due to Flash himself. What is this drug of forgetfulness?
Lithium. Guard.
General,
take this new slave to the kitchen until Her Majesty makes up her mind how she will dispose of him.
Thank you, General Dow.
Now, don't thank me. I had my way. You wouldn't be here now.
March this way, slave.
Wait. General Dow, what has happened to Dale Arden?
You will see her in the kitchen.
She is alive then?
Yeah.
And Khan?
Khan? Oh, yes, that must be the other one. Yes, he's there, too. Take him away, guard.
Come along, slave.
Yeah. Here, you. Put this machine and apparatus away. Clean up this room.
These are the kitchens, I presume.
Yes, but see that you don't presume too much around here.
Oh, a joke. Not bad.
Stop laughing. There will be no joke if you start any trouble, and we have to electrocute you.
Quite so, quite so. Why is that animal carcass placed between those machines?
Those machines are two electrodes. The flaming rays are roasting the carcass.
Very interesting, very interesting. Electrodes, eh? A much quicker process than roasting in an oven.
Dr. Zarkov! Dr. Zarkov!
Dale Arden!
Stay here, slave, while I get a set of manacles for you.
Oh, Lieutenant, What's this?
Oh, you're safe. Ma reached you in time, and he got there safely.
Yes, Ma reached me safely, Dale. But just as we were pulling him into the tunnel...
He was killed?
Yes.
Oh,
He was hit by a ray from the Queen's soldier.
poor Ma. Then he didn't tell you about Flash.
No, he was killed just as he was about to.
Oh, Dr. Zarkov, I've been so lonely.
Oh, yes.
Flash has turned against me. He's completely forgotten me.
No.
Yes. He's in love with that wicked Queen of Madness.
No, Dale. Flash has been drugged. He has lost his memory.
Drugged?
Yes.
That's just what Con and I thought might have happened. How did you find out?
A general named Tao told me.
Tao. That's the Queen's right-hand man. Her chief magician. He ought to know.
Oh.
Dr. Zarkov, we must save Flash.
Yes, Dale, we must save Flash. And ourselves, too.
Oh, I'm so glad you've come. Con and I both wish you were here to help us. You know so much about science and electricity.
Where is Con? Tao said I would see him here.
Well, in getting away from the palace, Ma went out the servants' gate. Con and I went with him to see that the coast was clear.
Yes, and go on.
We saw him slip out safely. And the next thing we knew, the guard came after us to our quarters and blamed us for his escape.
How could they have linked you with Ma?
Oh, they had seen us talking together.
Oh.
And one of the inner guards had challenged us near the gate just before Ma slipped out.
I see. But what has happened to Khan?
They separated us. Khan is in a cell somewhere. They bring him in here to do his work and take him away again.
I shall be glad to see him. Here's that fellow Tao.
Now, what is going on here? Get to work, slave.
What is the hurry, Tao? We have got lots of time for work.
Come, no back talk. You'll taste the electric whip. Oh, God! See that this new prisoner learns our magic discipline.
Yes, General Tao.
Yes, and you.
Yes, General Tao.
Prepare some little cakes and fill these 2 flagons with vodka. Her Majesty and Flash wish refreshment.
At once, General Tao.
Her Majesty is very particular about these solid gold flagons. See that Flash Gordon gets this large, 2-handled one, and Her Majesty the smaller and more delicately shaped one.
Yes, General Tao.
Well, what are you standing there for? Hurry. Can't you see the dragon's eyes over there, flashing?
What has that got to do with Dale's task?
Whenever Queen Azura wishes some vodka, those dragon's eyes light up. You can almost judge her mood from the flash of the eyes.
Wonderful.
Yes, I shall tell Her Majesty you are coming. Hurry now.
I'm sorry I can't stay to talk with you, Dr. Zarkov. We have so much to say to each other.
That is true, Dale. But we shall have plenty of time around here to talk later. You attend to your duties. In the meantime, until they get those manacles for me, I'll have a look around the kitchen.
Very well. I'll take these in to Flash and Queen Azura.
Well, it's about time. What kept you, girl? You said you had to make the vodka instead of just pour it.
I'm sorry to be so long, Your Majesty.
Come, Miss Order. This is a night of celebration and gladness. Let's not spoil it.
As you say, my prince. Here, drink this vodka. Have one of these little cakes. I'm sure you'll like them.
Thanks. I'll have one of the cakes.
Nothing to drink with them?
Well, I'll take a sip of the vodka to keep you company.
My throat is parched. Give me that flagon, girl.
You had a hard day of it, Azura.
That tastes good. You're sure you don't care for any more, my prince?
No more for me, thanks.
Take the flagon and cakes away, girl.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Dale!
Yes, Dr. Zarkov.
I have it. I have the plan to save us all.
You have? Oh, what is it, Dr. Zarkov?
Get your tray down.
There. Now, Dr. Zarkov, what is your plan?
While you were gone, the guard slashed me with his electric whip. I had just thought of the way to repay him. Now I want you to knock over those dishes piled up there on that table.
Then the guard will beat me.
Oh, no, he won't.
He has beaten others for less cause. Why won't he beat me?
Because when you knock the dishes over, I will jump up on that platform and grab one of those electrodes that is being used to roast the meat and swing its flaming ray on the chief cook and the guard as they stop for you.
Oh, Dr. Zarkov, if the attempt should fail...
Do not think about that, Dale. It must not fail. Do as I tell you. Everyone's back is turned just now. Hurry.
Very well. Here goes. Dr. Zarkov, save me.
Stand back from that girl, or I will burn you both to a crisp.
Are the tables to be turned? Can Dr. Zarkov single-handed overcome Queen Azura's guards and rescue Dale Arden? See for yourself how he proposes to do this in big, full-color pictures in the Comic Weekly, distributed with all Hearst newspapers next Sunday. The Comic Weekly is the world's most popular supplement of humor and adventure. It is now printed in full-size pages, not tabloids. Every page of the Comic Weekly entertains like the star act in a variety show. For the big, full-page Comic Weekly is the world's greatest variety show of humor and adventure, with every act a headliner. So be sure to get the big, full-page Comic Weekly with your Hearst newspaper next Sunday. Meanwhile, goodbye until next week, when we'll be back with another chapter in the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon.
Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Claiming that he could transform a human being into an atomic monster who would be able to control the world, a brilliant but unscrupulous Nazi scientist known as Der Teufel injected a solution of kryptonite into the veins of a young German named Heinrich Milch. Wearing meshed gloves and a tiny converter at his throat, Milch, in a test, lifted his hands, and a violent explosion ensued which uprooted giant trees and tore a huge canyon-like hole in the Black Forest. Telling the awed youth that his first task was to conquer Superman, Teufel ordered him to go to America, where he had been educated, and under the name of Henry Miller, secure a position on the Metropolis Daily Planet, which was said to have contact with Superman. Meanwhile, having been unable to find Teufel in Germany, Superman has returned to Metropolis. And as we continue now, he is entering the laboratory of Dr. James Millison, a famous American scientist. Listen.
Clark Kent said you wanted to see me, Doctor.
Yes, Superman. Come in and sit down.
Can't we talk right here?
If you're worried about the sliver of kryptonite...
Frankly, I am. As you know, I can't come within 10 feet of it without losing my strength.
Now, you're quite safe in this laboratory. The sliver was destroyed. Come to my desk.
Destroyed?
Yes, in a final effort to discover the cause for its strange effect on you, I placed it in the cyclotron and bombarded it with atoms. Here we are. Sit down.
Thank you. Well, don't keep me in suspense, Doctor. Were you able to find a defense for me against the kryptonite?
I'm sorry to say I wasn't.
Oh.
I did my best, believe me.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
I tried everything, every method known to science, and all the knowledge of electronics developed during the war. I even called in 3 of my colleagues, the leaders in the fields of chemistry and biology and atomics.
They couldn't help either?
No. You see, your problem is most unique. It's without precedent. You can withstand the most intense power known to man, and yet you're vulnerable to the kryptonite in its stable state. That is, before its atomic structure is disturbed.
Yes, why is that?
That's the crux of the problem, which we can't discover. I can only guess at the answer. You were born on Krypton, where the radioactivity of the planet's elements gave you your amazing powers.
Yes.
But here in the atmosphere of Earth, the chemical structure of your body must react in the opposite way to the fragment of kryptonite and make you weak. I can't tell you why that chemical change takes place.
Well, can't you find out? I mean, perhaps some element or vitamin in my system breaks down. If we found out what it was and I absorbed a great quantity of it...
I thought of that. I even considered exposing you to the tiny piece of kryptonite I had, and then subjecting you to a blood test. And then I remembered your skin was impenetrable.
Yes, that's so. Doctor, something must be done. Der Teufel has a piece of that kryptonite. We traced him to Germany, but he disappeared there.
Oh, I know he intends to use it against me and then against the rest of the world.
Tell me, how large is the piece of kryptonite Teufel has?
Oh, roughly about the size of that paperweight on your desk.
Uh-huh. Not very large, but the stuff is amazingly pure. You wouldn't need much of it for a bomb powerful enough to destroy all of Metropolis.
What?
But it's impossible. He'd need a huge factory, and the occupation forces now control all the factories in Germany.
But suppose he doesn't intend to make bombs. Teufel told a henchman of his that he intends to create an atom man with the kryptonite.
Oh, what?
An atom man. Some kind of monster he said would be able to control me and enslave the rest of the world.
What in thunder did he mean by that?
I don't know, I'm sure, but I'm worried. Teufel is a brilliant scientist.
I know he is. He won prizes in science twice before the war, and we know he's the man responsible for the rocket bombs the Nazis used. But an atom man, I can't imagine what he meant.
No, I can't either. Unless...
Unless what?
Unless he had some mad idea. Doctor, would you say it was possible to somehow incorporate the kryptonite in a man's body?
Good heavens, no. The stuff would probably kill him, and
You said it was very pure.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it contains practically no impurity.
Well?
That's another amazing thing about it. But introducing it into a man's body, why, even if it could be done and the man lived, what would be accomplished?
If Teufel discovered a way of harnessing and then loosing the tremendous atomic power you say there is in the kryptonite, while it was in a human body, well, he'd have his atom man, wouldn't he?
Not even Teufel is that clever. Forget such a fantastic possibility, Superman.
Would you say it was impossible?
In science, we rarely say anything is impossible. But I'll go so far as to assure you that such an atom man is practically impossible.
Well, that's a relief. Now, if only there was some defense for me against the kryptonite. I know that Teufel has some plan up his sleeve, and apparently its success depends on getting me out of the way.
As I told you, I haven't been able to invent a defense against it. But I'm working on something now which may help you.
You are? What's that?
A detector.
Detector?
Yes, we were able to measure the humming sound the kryptonite makes and its gamma rays. Using a radar principle, we're completing a detector now which will warn you of the presence of the kryptonite while it's still some distance away.
How far away?
Well, that can't be determined accurately. It'll depend on the quantity of the stuff, whether or not it's subdued by other elements, and so on. But the detector will certainly register its approach within 100 yards.
Well, that'll give me a fighting chance, at least. I won't be taken by surprise. When will this detector be ready, Doctor?
Late today, I hope.
Oh?
Two of my assistants are working on it now. Would you like to see how they're progressing?
I certainly would. It might make the difference between life and death to me.
Come with me.
Thank you.
There's a small laboratory behind that steel door where I do my most important work.
Oh?
Here we are. In just a moment. This door's always locked. Come in.
Thanks.
This way. Those two men across the room are working on the detector. I'll bet they jump a foot when they see Superman in person.
As Superman and Dr. Millicent enter the private laboratory, an angry scene is taking place in Perry White's office at the Metropolis Daily Planet. Seated at his desk, the gray-haired editor scowls furiously at Jimmy Olsen, the freckle-faced cub reporter.
And you say Kent just walked out of the office again, Olsen?
Well, he didn't walk, he ran.
And he didn't say where he was going?
No, sir. He got a phone call, grabbed his hat, and beat it.
Did he say when he'd be back?
No, he didn't.
Well, how do you like that? Whenever Mr. Kent gets a notion he wants a vacation, which has been happening practically every day recently, he just takes it.
Oh, I don't think he went on any vacation, Chief. I mean, Mr. White.
You don't think? Do you know where he went?
No, but
Do you know where he disappeared to yesterday?
No.
Or the day before that?
No, but
Or the day before that? The 3 days before that?
No, but
Well, neither do I. Neither does Lois. Neither does anybody except Kent himself, and he's not talking.
Well, I'm sure it must be something important.
Something important? Something too important to tell me, his editor? The poor fish who pays his salary? What am I around here anyway? The office boy? I mean the office boy? I mean the office boy?
Now, take it easy, Chief. You'll blow a gasket.
It's my gasket, and I'll blow it if I want to. I'll blow a million of them.
But your blood pressure.
It's my blood pressure, too. Olsen, I put up with all I can stand from, can't I? I won't put up with any more. For years, I've stood for his disappearing whenever he felt like it, and then popping up again. But this is too much. This is the last straw.
But, Mr. White...
Ever since that piece of kryptonite was stolen from the museum a couple of weeks ago, Kent's hardly been in the office at all.
Oh, but that's what it is. Mr. Kent must be trying to find the kryptonite. He said Superman was in great danger from it.
Superman in danger? Well, of all the poppycock. If that's what Kent's wasting the Daily Planet's good money on, it's time he learned a lesson. Yes, sir, he needs a lesson, and I'm going to teach it to him.
What do you mean?
Oh, what's that? Oh, the intercom. Well, what is it, Miss McGrath?
There's a Mr. Henry Miller to see you, Mr. White.
Who?
Mr. Henry
Henry Miller? Henry Miller? Oh, who's he?
Henry Miller. Is this the young Nazi in whose blood runs the dread kryptonite? We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax to today's episode. But right now, here's a word from your announcer.
You know, gang, it's not often you can get such swell prizes without sending in any money, not even a box stop. I'm talking about those brand new comic buttons that now come in packages of Kellogg's Pep. They're so easy to get, easy to look at, too. Bright comic strip colors, sparkling white background, sturdy metal buttons you'll get a kick out of wearing on your jacket or dress or cap. And what a kick you'll get out of collecting all 18 different buttons, trading duplicates with your friends, and comparing notes on how many you've collected so far. You know, these are real, true-to-life pictures of your favorite comic strip friends, like Moon Mullins and K.O. and Smilin' Jack and Superman, of course, 18 of them in all, each one just about the best-looking thing you can imagine. So how about getting busy on your collection? Today, ask Mom to get you a good supply of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. That's the only way you can get these new comic buttons, you know. You can't buy them anywhere. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop. You just look inside the Pep package and see which prize you find. A nifty, colorful comic button or a military insignia or warplane button. It's a prize for you from P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
In his office with Jimmy Olsen, Editor Perry White has just been informed by his secretary on the interoffice phone that a Mr. Henry Miller wishes to see him.
Henry Miller? Oh, who's he, Miss Backrack?
Oh, he's young and terribly good-looking, Mr.
Good-looking?
White.
Who asked you if he's good-looking?
Oh, boy.
Who is he and what does he want?
I'm sorry, Mr. White. He's looking for a position.
Well, why bother me about it? Send him to Kinsey, the office manager.
But he's looking for a reporter's position, and you always interview reporters yourself.
Well, I'm not interviewing any today. I've got enough reporters. Too many, as a matter of fact, for my peace of mind. Send him away. Wait a minute. Did you say he was a reporter?
Yes, sir. Will you see him?
Will I? You bet I will. And if he's any kind of a reporter, I'll... Oh, send him in, Miss Backrack. Send him right in.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Olsen, this is rich.
Oh, what is?
This. It works out perfectly. I said I was going to teach Kent a lesson, didn't I?
Huh? Well, sure, but I don't get it.
Oh, you will, and so will Kent. He thinks that... Now, come in. Oh, come in, Miller. Come in. Glad to see you. Why, you may be just the man I'm looking for.
Cordially, Perry White invites the slim, blond young man into his office, unaware that he is facing the most dangerous man who ever lived. For this is Henry Miller, the German atomic monster created by Der Teufel to conquer Superman, and he is about to be hired as a reporter for the Daily Planet. What will happen? Don't miss tomorrow's thrill-packed episode when Superman meets what may be his master. Tune in, same time, same station, and listen to The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow The Adventures of Superman, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications. Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Making deadly use of a small piece of kryptonite, the strange green glowing metallic substance that robs Superman of all his strength and power, the half-crazed but brilliant Nazi scientist known as Der Teufel, the Devil, created a human monster he has called the Atom Man, in whose veins flows a solution of the kryptonite capable of developing enough atomic energy to destroy anything in its path, including Superman. Posing as Henry Miller, Heinrich Milch, the young American-educated Nazi who has been given this unlimited power, came to America under Teufel's orders, and at this very moment is applying for a job at the Daily Planet in order to make contact with Superman. As he enters Editor Perry White's office, he seems to be a normal young man, blond and Nordic-looking, but now speaking perfect English, all traces of his accent gone. Also missing, for the moment, are the metal mesh gloves and tiny electronic throat converter that transform him into the dread Atom Man. Listen.
Come in, Miller, come in.
Thank you, sir.
Close the door.
Oh, I better leave, Mr. White.
No, stick around, Olson. This is going to be fun. So, you'd like a reporter's job, eh?
I would if there's one open, sir.
Oh, there's one open, all right, and a very good one, too. Oh, incidentally, meet Jim Olson, one of our cubs.
How do you do, Mr. Olson?
Glad to meet you.
Yes, there's a job open. I just lost my key man. Or maybe I should say he lost me. Now, Miller, what's your background? Who have you worked for?
Well, sir, I've been, overseas for a number of years.
Oh, returned vet, eh? Good. You boys deserve all the break. Yes, sir, there's not enough we can do for you. You hear that, Olson? A returned vet.
Yes, Mr. White.
Where'd you work before you went in, Miller?
Well, I spent a year on the Denver Clarion and 6 months on the Chicago Herald.
Two good papers. Anything special you do?
No, sir, just general reporting.
All right. You've got the job. $50 a week to start and a raise in a month to become through. How's that sound?
Sounds fine, sir. I don't know how to thank...
Forget it. Any man who risked his life fighting for me deserves everything I can give him. Oh, Olson.
Yes, Chief?
What did I tell you about that chief business? You know my name!
Yes, Chief. I mean, Mr. White.
Take Miller into Kent's office. Clear out Kent's desk.
Oh, you better not do that, Mr. White.
What did you say?
Mr. Kent won't like it. He's got a lot of private papers in his desk.
I don't care whether he's got a pink elephant and a family of pygmies. I said clear out his desk, and I mean clear it out. Now go ahead, before you get tossed out on your ear.
Yes, sir. Just follow me, Mr. Miller.
Okay. Good luck, Miller. Good luck. I'm sure you'll work out.
I hope so, sir. I'll try hard.
And tell Miss Blacklock Olson that if Kent does break his heart and come in, I don't want to see him.
Yes, Mr. White.
Mr. White seems to have quite a temper.
Yeah, but his bark is worse than his bite. I'll show you Mr. Kent's office, but if I were you, I wouldn't clear out the desk until Mr. Kent gets back. It's over this way.
Who is this Kent fella? What does he do, go on 3-day drunks?
Oh, are you kidding? Why, Kent wouldn't touch a drink with a 10-foot pole. He doesn't smoke either. He's the best reporter on the paper. The best in the country.
Then how come he never shows up?
Well, he shows up. Right now, he's out on a big story, I guess. Here's his office.
Not bad. I'm going to like this job.
Oh, don't be too sure.
What do you mean?
Well, Mr. White's okay, but he can run you ragged sometimes. I started here as a copy boy, and I know. You got to be able to move as fast as Superman sometimes.
Did you say Superman?
Yeah, and that's no joke.
No, Superman is hardly a joke. I understand that you have some contact with him here at the Daily Planet.
Oh, who told you that?
I don't remember now. Is it true?
Well, sort of.
Does he actually wear a blue costume and a red cape? Or haven't you ever seen him?
Oh, I've seen him all right, plenty of times. Sure he does.
How would you contact him if you needed him?
Well, you better ask Miss Lane that question.
Miss Lane?
Mm-hmm, Lois Lane. She's our star girl reporter. I think you ought to meet her. She's in this next office.
Come in. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Miss Lane. I'd like you to meet Mr. Miller, a new reporter Mr. White just hired.
Well, welcome to the Daily Planet, Mr. Miller.
How do you do?
Jim, please close that door, will you?
Oh, sure.
The racket of those typewriters just about drives me crazy. Thanks, Jim. Well, so you've joined the ranks. Is that it, Mr. Miller? The Deadline Fraternity. Perry White's trained seals.
Is it as bad as all that?
No, not really. We take a beating, but we have a lot of fun. Right, Jim?
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, what's eating you, James?
Who, me?
Uh-huh.
Why, nothing.
Oh, now, come on. I know that down in the mouth. Olson, look. What is it?
Mr. Miller is taking Mr. Kent's place.
Oh, that's fine. I'm off. What did you say?
Mr. Kent's been fired. Mr. Miller is taking his place.
Who said so?
The chief, Mr. White.
Oh, the chief. For a minute you had me worried. By this time, Jim, you ought to know better than to take the little Napoleon at his word. Both Clark and I have been fired at least 15 times in the last year.
But this time it's for keeps.
Oh, nonsense, Jim.
I tell you, Miss Lane, this time Mr. White means it.
Don't worry, Jim. The minute Clark sticks his nose in that door, it'll be all...
What's going to happen the minute I stick my nose in the door?
Oh, Mr. Kent.
Hi, Jim.
Clark, you're in trouble. Meet Mr. Miller, the man who's taking your place on the paper. Clark, I'm talking to you. This is Mr. Miller. Clark.
Dazed, as though someone had suddenly cut him across the face with a whip, Clark Kent, almost a little frightened, feels a strange weakness creeping over him as the solution of kryptonite in Henry Miller's veins begins to take some effect, even without the metal mesh gloves and the electronic converter. This is the first meeting of the Atom Man and Superman, although neither is aware of the other's true identity. Something startling is bound to happen, so stay tuned in for the dramatic climax in a few moments. But right now, here's a word from your announcer.
You know, most of the gang wear their new Kellogg's Pep comic buttons pinned on their jacket or dress or cap, so everybody can see how many they've collected. But I met up with a girl yesterday who pins hers on a piece of black velvet her mother gave her. You know, like medals. Of course, it doesn't matter how you keep them, as long as you're keeping up with the other kids, rounding out your collection of all 18 different buttons. You'll want Smilin' Jack and Lillums and Smitty and Superman, of course, and all the other true-to-life pictures of your favorite comic strip friends. Now, any duplicates you get, you'll want to swap with your friends. That's part of the fun. And it's also fun to compare notes and see who's got the most different buttons every day. So don't miss out, gang. Get to work on your collection right away. Ask Mom to get you a package of that super delicious Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can get these new comic buttons. You don't send in any money, not even a box stop. You can't buy them anywhere. But inside every package of Pep, there's a swell prize, one of these brand new colorful comic buttons, or a military insignia or warplane button. It's a prize for you from P.E.P. Pep, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
A strange scene is taking place in Lois Lane's office at the Daily Planet. Clark Kent, in reality Superman, is facing for the first time young Heinrich Milk, alias Henry Miller, in whose veins flows a solution of kryptonite that makes of him a deadly atom man. As Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen look on in bewilderment, Kent pales as he feels a strange weakness coming over him. Listen.
Clark, what's the matter with you?
I don't know, Lois.
Oh, don't you feel well, Mr. Kent? Here, sit down.
I think perhaps I'd better leave. No, I'm sorry, Mr.
Miller, Clark.
I'm sorry, Mr. Miller, but
It's all right. I've got some unpacking to do anyway. I'll see you all later.
Bye. Now, Clark, what's the matter with you?
I don't know, Lois.
Well, you look simply ghastly. Where have you been the last few days?
Germany.
Germany? Jeepers.
Now, wait a minute. You left here on Monday, and today is Wednesday.
It's almost like the weakness the kryptonite gave me.
What's that?
Huh? Oh, did I say something? I'm sorry.
You said you were in Germany, Mr. Kent.
Well, I said that.
Clark, what in the name of heaven has come over you?
Nothing, Lois. Nothing, really.
Well, do you realize what's going on around you?
I don't understand you, Lois. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, you better go in and see Perry White.
What for?
Well, for one thing, he's your employer, and every employer likes to see his employees once in a while. And for another thing, you've been fired.
What, again?
Well, this time it's serious, Mr. Kent.
Really, Jim?
Yeah, that's why Mr. White hired that Miller guy to take your place.
What Miller guy?
Oh, good heavens. Clark, go right in to see the chief, will you?
Why?
Go ahead now. Open the door, Jim.
All right.
Well,
Go ahead, Clark.
all right, I'm going. You don't have to push. Oh, the crazy thing.
Close that door, Jim, will you?
What's wrong with him, Miss
I
Lane?
don't know, but it's serious, Jim. Which key connects with Mr. White's office on the intercom?
Number 3.
Yes? What is it?
Oh, it's Lois Lane, Chief. Clark Kent is coming into your office.
Oh, no, he's not.
Chief, now listen to me. There's something wrong with Clark.
You telling me?
I mean, seriously. Keep him in your office as long as you can. Now, don't let him go. I'll be in there soon. What's that number?
What number, Miss Lane?
I've got it here in my book somewhere. I think it's right. Here it is. 3748. 3748. The chief keeps them there.
He sure didn't act right.
That's right. Hello? Mr. Grady, please. Well, he was completely irrational, Jim. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Hello? Mr. Grady? Mr. Grady, I need your help. We have a reporter here at the Daily Planet who seems to have had a nervous breakdown. Yes, he's suddenly become completely irrational. Well, I'd like you to send for him immediately and take him out to your rest farm. Yes, you'll need at least 2 strong men, because I'm sure he won't consent to go along willingly once he learns...
Convinced that Clark Kent is in the process of losing his mind, Lois is making emergency arrangements to have him picked up and taken away for treatment, unaware that Kent's trouble is that he has unknowingly met up with his deadliest and most powerful enemy, the newly created Atom Man. Now, with 2 burly attendants on their way for Kent, the Atom Man's search for Superman, and Superman's efforts to escape from the weakening effects of his one undefeatable enemy, the powerful atomic energy contained in kryptonite, takes a strange new twist. Will these 2 meet again, the Man of Steel and the Atom Man? When? Where? There's excitement ahead, excitement and spine-tingling suspense in this battle to the death, so don't miss a single thrilling word of it. Tune in tomorrow, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look! Up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday. Same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Publications.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to Rockin' into the Future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. On Rhea, one of the moons of Saturn, the whole universe's supply of a rare, new miracle medicine, Viricide F3, is threatened by a gang of space bandits. The Polaris unit, with Colonel Cowan of Solar Guard Intelligence, heads for Rhea to foil the gang. But the Polaris, its rockets damaged, goes adrift in space. So Tom Corbett and Colonel Cowan, leaving Roger Manning and the wounded Astro behind, set out in a jet boat. And thanks to Tom's skillful piloting, they arrive at the airless little world just before their fuel runs out.
Wonder where the switch is, Tom, for the entrance to the atmosphere dome.
Right here, Colonel.
Hey, hello there. I saw you blasting in, and I thought I'd come down to meet you. I'm Bailey, Ned Bailey, in charge of materials.
I'm Colonel Cowan, Solar Guard. And this is Cadet Corbett.
Oh, I'm glad to know you, but how is...
It's a long story, and just now we haven't much time. So will you take us to Mr. Adams right away?
Adams? Oh, I'm afraid not, Colonel.
Why not? Isn't he general manager here?
Yeah, sure, he was, but he died suddenly the other day.
What?
Yep. So you'll probably want to talk to Ed Malvern as assistant manager. He took over.
But about Adams, when did he...
Well, Bailey, visitor.
Oh, here he is now. Hey, Ed, some fellas to see you, Solar Guard.
Welcome to Rhea, gentlemen. You, Colonel Cowan?
That's right. And Cadet Corbett.
Fine. Earth General Headquarters audioed us that you'd be coming.
Did they tell you anything else, Mr. Malvern?
Oh, there was some crazy yarn about danger, but you know how those boys at EHQ go for a story like that.
But this time I'm afraid it's true. Are you prepared to defend Rhea, Mr. Malvern?
Defend? Oh, come now, Colonel. We're practical folks here, down-to-earth businessmen.
You may be out of business soon. Haven't you warned your men, gotten arms from Titan?
Hey, what's this all about, boss?
Oh, some space gag about a gang attacking us, Bailey, stealing the F3 supply, blasting the plants and the men. Don't worry about it.
Look, sir, there is such a gang. It wants to monopolize all the F3 viricide in the entire universe.
Son, that's quite a story, but a little far-fetched if you ask me. Now, believe me, my boy, if we got upset about every weird rumor like this, when would we get around to making the medicine?
One of the gang's gunmen took over our ship for a while. Or was that a rumor, too?
What? Hey, boss, maybe...
Yes, and he said he was to rendezvous with the rest of them somewhere near Rhea.
Good heavens, if this is true, Cowan...
I tell you, they may strike any time. We'll do what we can here, and let's also send a coded audio message to Solar Guard headquarters.
All right, you go with Bailey. Start organizing things. I double as a radio operator so I can get the coded message off.
You'd better send it, hadn't you, Colonel?
Why, no, let Malvern do it. I'm going to be pretty busy for a while. Come on, Bailey, let's get going. Come on, Tom.
Well, where are we going, sir?
The communications room. You're right, Tom. I should have sent that message to the Solar Guards myself.
Golly, what's made you change your mind so fast?
Malvern supposedly sent through a report on Adams' death. Adams died 2 weeks ago.
Yeah?
But 2 days ago, Earth Office knew nothing about it. In fact, messages were still coming through signed with Adams' name.
Hey, that's strange.
More than strange, particularly when Malvern's the communications officer.
But, sir, that might mean he's one of the gang himself. That he was somehow responsible for Adam's death.
It's a possibility. But before we make up our minds, let's see what kind of message he's sending. Here's the building.
Through this door, sir. I wonder which is the audio room.
Wait, Tom. I hear something. Over this way.
Malvern's voice, all right.
Can't make out a word, though. If we can get this door open, just a crack.
So that's the situation, Chief.
Chief? Quiet, Corbett. Let's listen.
I don't think they suspect a thing so far, but they may soon. Don't wait any longer, Chief. Attack at once.
You were right, Colonel. He's one of the gang.
Yes. Prepare to take him as soon as he breaks contact.
Okay. Move in, then. Yes, I'll be ready, Chief. And transmission.
No? I've got my parallel ray ready.
Right. Come on. All right, Malvern. Get away from that audio transmitter.
What? So, Colonel Cowan, I underestimated you. Unfortunately, you come late.
Oh, no, I haven't.
My friends are on their way, or didn't you hear?
We heard, and so did the Solar Guard. You sent out a straight voice message, Malvern, on an open frequency which the guards listen to all the time.
You must think I'm a fool, Colonel. I used low power. Not enough to reach any Solar Guard station.
Well, we've still got you.
Wrong again. Max?
Yeah, boss.
Great Jupiter.
Don't move, either of you guys.
Show him your heat ray, Max.
Okay, boss. Yeah. Take a look.
Which trumps your ace, Corbett. Drop that parallel pop gun of yours.
Colonel, I'm willing to take a chance.
Drop it, I said. Or Max blasts you to ashes.
Do as he says. Your gun's no match for his.
Okay.
Get the Durasteel wire, Max. It's over in that corner.
Sure thing, boss.
I don't know what your plan is, Malvern, but Bailey's alerting the men now. Against attack, you'll never succeed.
Want to bet? In the first place, you two are being tied up with Durasteel wire. You got it, Max?
Got plenty. I'll truss them up good.
Well, somebody will release us. Some of your own men will realize what's going on.
Sure they will. All of them will. When our spaceship arrives and blows a hole in the atmosphere dome.
What? But that's mass murder. Everyone in the colony will die of suffocation.
No, not everyone, Colonel. Max and me. We'll be in spacesuits.
I can understand you're doing this to us, but your own men, your friends.
There's nothing personal about this, Colonel.
There certainly isn't.
Simply business, gentlemen. Simply business. We want to get all the viruside F3 there is. And we don't want any more produced for a long, long time. There's no better way to accomplish that than by wiping out all life on the face of Rhea. Every single creature on this satellite, gentlemen, must die.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, Dr. Joan Dale wants to talk to you. Here, I'll press the buzzer so you can go into her laboratory.
Come in, Spaceman. I'm taking time out from this experiment to talk to you about your official space goggles. Oh, speaking of space goggles, I'd better put my pair on. Oh, there I've got them on now. And now I've got protection for my eyes against these flying sparks and the bright glow from the bubbling chemicals you hear. You know, these special goggles are official Space Academy equipment. They're made of one sweeping curved piece of colored plastic that fits comfortably over both eyes. I know every spaceman will want to own a pair. Space goggles come in handy when you're looking into the sun, heading into a strong wind, or when you're like me and you're working in a laboratory. Now, spacemen, for important instructions on how to get a pair of space goggles, just step outside the door. Spaceman's luck.
Spaceman, send 25 cents. One box top from Kellogg's Pep and your name and address. To get an official pair of space goggles, send 25 cents. One box top from Kellogg's Pep and your name and address. Send this to Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. That's Kellogg's, Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Now, spacemen, send for your pair of space goggles today. And tomorrow, start off your day with Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
General Manager Malvern of the F3 plant on Rhea has been revealed as a member of the space gang which aims to take over the universe's entire supply of the life-giving viruside. Capturing Cadet Corbett and Colonel Cowan of Solar Guard Intelligence, he tells them that the gang's rocket ship will soon blast a hole in the satellite's atmosphere shell, killing everyone in the colony by suffocation. And he orders his pal Max to tie the two captives up securely.
Max, Got him trussed up good and tight?
He has. Your pal knows he's dirty business.
Thanks, kid. All set, boss. Nobody's going to break those Durasteel wires.
And we'd better get our spacesuits, so we, at least, will survive the attack.
You rotten space crawlers.
No use struggling against those wires, Cadet. No use at all.
The Solar Guard's going to catch up with you someday.
Perhaps, but you'll hardly be celebrating the occasion. No hard feelings, I trust. This is simply business, you know.
Colonel Cowan, are you all right? You didn't say anything.
I wasn't anxious to keep them here.
I guess we've had it, sir. Max was right. We can't break these wires or even twist them.
We don't have to. Getting loose isn't our problem.
What?
Wriggle toward me so your fingers can reach the bottom of my trouser leg, along the seam.
Well, yes, sir. I can feel something.
It's a thin diamondite blade sewed there. Start working it out. It'll cut through anything, even Durasteel wire.
By the craters of Luna, what luck.
Not luck. Standard intelligence service procedure. It's often been useful before.
Well, I've got the blade out, sir.
Good. Here. Now start working on my wrists.
Okay, Colonel.
Okay, Corbett. Your hands are free. Now get the wire off your leg.
Right. What are you going to do, sir?
Get on this audio. Try to contact the gang, then pretend I'm Malvern and talk them out of attacking.
It might work.
Worth trying. If only I knew their code word or even some of their names. Well, we'll see. Emergency call! This is Malvern. Emergency call! Jupiter, aren't they even going to answer?
Hello, Malvern. This is the chief. Anything wrong?
Plenty, Chief. Go back. Call off the raid.
What? You're off your gyro.
Listen, the Solar Guard's here. They're wise.
Since when? There's been no ships on our radar.
They sneaked up on the other side of Rhea, didn't register.
Wait a minute. What's the code word, Malvern?
There's no time for that, I tell you.
If you're Malvern, give it to me.
I forget, Chief. I'm too excited.
Space dust. Hey, wait a minute. You must be the Colonel Malvern was talking about, the Solar Guard Big Shot.
Uh-oh. Yes, I'm Cowan, and I'm warning you not to attack.
Don't you know better to waste your breath? You can't fight back, and we're coming in.
Listen to me. He switched off.
Good try, sir, but it doesn't look as if we can stop them from blasting the dome.
No. Come on, Tom. We have to warn everybody. Tell them to get into spacesuits.
Yes, sir, and then try to find a way to win out against mighty rough odds. Colonel, there's Bailey, the fellow we talked to first.
Good. Bailey, have everybody get spacesuits, quickly.
Hey, how'd you two get loose? Stay back or I'll shoot.
Oh, no, he must be another one of the gang.
I doubt it. If so, he'd have left. Why the gun, Bailey?
I know all about you. Malvern told us. You're crazy, dangerous.
That killer thinks of everything.
Listen, Bailey, Malvern lied to you. He's one of the gang who are going to attack Rhea any minute.
Yeah, that proves you're space happy. Keep away from me.
Listen, Bailey, the atmosphere dome is going to be blasted. Everyone on Rhea is going to be wiped out unless you move fast.
I don't believe it. Stay away.
Tell me, Bailey, where's Malvern now?
How should I know?
Well, I think I know. He and Max are getting spacesuits so they can live when the air dome goes.
Oh, you're lying. You
don't believe me, eh? Well, look over there behind you.
I don't see that.
Take him, Corbett.
Right. All right, I got him, sir.
All right. Let it go. Let it fool.
Don't struggle. We won't hurt you.
Malvern warned me I should have killed you.
Let him go, Cadet. Right, I've got his gun now.
Don't blast me, please.
Don't worry, we won't.
Look, Bailey, would it do any harm to get everybody into spacesuits?
Wait a minute. I'm all mixed up.
No time. Corbett, look up there at that dot in the sky.
Great Jupiter, it's the killer ship coming in to attack.
All right, Colonel. Everyone's in suits. Did you find anything we can fight with?
Not a thing. The jet boat we came in is useless. And there's nothing that flies unless you count body jets.
What, against spaceships?
No weapons except the handguns you distributed either. Why, they'd be all right for close combat, but they're just pop guns in a fight like this.
Well, I hope maybe you fellas could find something in the storehouse, something we wouldn't think of.
Only a lot of building material, jars of chemicals and acids, lab equipment, nice breakable stuff.
But nothing to fight a battle with.
Here on Rhea, we've been busy making medicine to save lives. We never thought about taking it.
Here it is. They fired a warhead.
The dome's gone. Helmets on, everyone!
Oh, we told them this much. We won't die of suffocation.
Uh-oh. It doesn't look as if they're counting on suffocation. They're firing warheads at us point blank.
That's bad. It won't take many to blow this area to space dust.
Bailey, where is the medicine store? The F3.
Over there, the small white building.
Get everybody into it. That's what the gang's after. So they'll treat it with kid gloves.
Yeah. Come on, man, this way.
We better follow, Corbett. It'll give us time to think.
Wait, sir. The ship's still firing, but no warheads are landing here. Funny.
Yes, it... Look, there's another ship, and it's fighting the gang.
The Polaris. Astro and Roger finally got the old girl patched up. It's just limping along, though.
They're in no shape to take on that gang, but they certainly have nerve.
If nerve is only enough. But two men trying to fight with a patched-up ship. Oh, Jupiter, look at that. They're hit. Their firepower is gone.
Well, I'm afraid that does it, Corbett. No, they're still underway. What are they doing?
Heading for the gang ship. They're going to ram.
They did. The ships are locked together. But both of them are out of control. They're crashed.
It won't be a real crash, sir. The rockets are still giving some support. But the gravity is low here. They'll spin into the ground not far from the dome.
By the rings of Saturn, you're right.
Let's go, Colonel. Roger and Astro may need help.
Someone's coming toward us from one of the ships. Get your gun ready, Corbett.
All ready, sir. Hey, it's Roger. Roger, are you all right? And where's Astro? Get down, Tom, both of you. Hit the dirt, sir. See what I mean? Those space rats can still fire. We'd better start crawling to the dome. Okay, but Astro... He's trapped on the power deck, but he has tools. Says he'll cut his way out in a few hours. Great. Meanwhile, the gang can't fire on the Polaris without smashing their own ship.
Boys, I think the gang's finished. If we get out of range of their big guns, they'll have to come out of their ship sometime, and then it'll be a man-to-man fight.
Right, sir. Hey, what's that noise? Jupiter, they're coming out of the ship now. But it won't be any man-to-man fight. Look, great galaxy, an armored tank.
That's one of the Martian killer tanks. No ordinary weapon can dent it.
It's got rocket guns. Let's get out of here.
We can't fight that any more than we could the ship. Warn the men, Corbett.
To do what? That tank can hunt them down anywhere on this little hunk of rock. And it'll blast the installations to space dust. There is nothing we can do, sir. Not a thing.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spacemen, today we're honored to have a distinguished visitor from outer space. He is Flavius the Elder, Prime Minister of the asteroid Orius. Sir, did you have a smooth space trip? Oh, I see. Well, you know, spacemen, it's a bit difficult to understand the people of Orius. It takes years of study, so I'll interpret for you. The Prime Minister says he was shaken up by the moon tides while blasting through Jupiter's orbit. Oh, after the ship steadied off, the stewardess made you feel good with a magic formula. Well, what was it like? I understand. It came in a box. You opened it and poured rich golden brown flakes into a bowl. And then you poured milk and sprinkled sugar over it. And you say it tasted wonderful? You had how many? 3 bowls. Mr. Prime Minister. Was the name on the box Kellogg's Pep? It was. Well, sir, you'll forgive me, but Orius must be a very backward planet. There is no secret magic to Kellogg's Pep. Almost everybody in the solar system knows about the built-up wheat cereal. Every spaceman starts off his day with Pep. It helps give you lots of food energy to make a good start on the day. And Pep has those vitamins necessary to build strong bones and tough muscles. The Prime Minister says he's going to stock up with a good supply of Pep right away. And spacemen, you know, that's a good idea. So ask Mom to get you a package of the build-up wheat cereal today. Kellogg's Pep.
As the space gang's armored killer tank charges toward the shattered atmosphere dome, Tom, Roger, and Colonel Cowan fall back to warn the men of their danger. With their hand weapons useless against the heavy armor of the tank, and with no way to defend themselves against its rocket guns, it appears that they have lost their battle to save the precious medicine of the satellite of life.
Colonel Cowan, what's going on? Is the ship still firing?
Worse, Bailey. Those space crawlers have a tank.
Tell the men to scatter. Hide if they can, but not in here.
You won't be safe even around the building holding the medicine now. The tank can pick you off one by one.
Corbett's right, Bailey. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the medicine, the viricide, they'll get all the F3. Isn't there anything we can do?
Nothing. That tank's invulnerable to anything we've got.
Blast. Okay, Colonel.
You the cadets better hurry, too. Come on, sir. Let's get moving.
Corbett, Manning, go along.
Oh, what about you, sir?
I'm staying. Perhaps I can get in one lucky shot.
That's impossible. You'll be killed.
I've failed in my mission. Failed all the people who need F3. Failed my wife. Going to die without it. So you go on.
Wait, Captain. Come with us to the storehouse.
The storehouse? What for?
Oh, please, sir. Come on, hurry. Before they blast it.
All right, Corbett. But why?
A wild idea. There's still something we can try. The buddy jets. We can fly with them, but not far enough or fast enough to escape.
Anyway, escaping won't save the medicine.
I wasn't thinking about escape. We'll attack.
With what?
Those big jars of acids we saw, Colonel. In this gravity, we can carry several apiece. Drop them on the tank.
Acid. Yes, acid can get through every crack. Eat into the tank controls. By the rings of Saturn, it might work at that.
Say, Junior, this could be our big chance. The only one we have left, so let's make it good.
Okay, boys. We're directly over the tank. Start dropping the jars of acid.
Right, sir. Jars away!
2 direct hits. Great work, boys.
They don't seem to notice.
Guess their guns are making so much racket they never even heard the crash.
Well, try another one, Roger. Okay, here goes. Missed with that one. Close, though. Could be just as good. The acid will smash up against the tank bottom.
Follow the tank, boys. Stay directly over it where they can't spot us. And be sure you don't get any acid on your spacesuit.
Okay, sir. Hey, direct hit that time. We've got to stop that thing before it gets the men. It's a miracle they've managed to escape so far. There's one man down there who's not escaping. Look at him, Tom. He's gone nuts.
Running right toward the tank.
It's Malvern. I guess he expects the tank to stop and pick him up. They're not stopping, not even slowing down.
Ran right over him. His own pal.
Colonel, there's something else. The tank's in trouble. Look at that smoke pouring out of the engine.
It's working, boys. They're losing control. The acid's working.
Uh-oh. Look at the hatch. It's opening.
A perfect chance. Drop another jar. Fast. Mine's gone.
Oh, I just dropped my last jar.
Me too.
Then we're in trouble. They've spotted us through the hatch. They're trying to angle their guns up high to knock us down.
Look out, they're backing. That gives them enough elevation.
Jupiter has got a train full on us.
Why not die? We'll never make it.
Miss!
And that gun will never fire again, sir. It's out of commission. The acids have knocked out the controls.
That goes for the whole tank, boys. Those space rats will have to come out and fight on even terms now.
And then they don't like that idea. Look at them filing out with their hands up. Colonel, we've done it. We've won.
Yes, Tom, we've won. The whole universe has won. Boys, thanks largely to you, Rhea will remain, for all the world, the satellite of light.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom, Corbett, and the Space Cadets on Tuesday, when they look forward to a pleasurable rest on the planet Venus, but find themselves involved in a desperate pursuit of danger. Tune in, same time, same station, for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast were Jan Merlin, Neil O'Malley, Dick Keith, and Ian Martin. Today's program was written by Don Hughes and directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran, raisins and bran flakes too. They're out of this world, they're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender, the bran flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran, raisins and bran flakes too. They're out of this world, they're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
jungle night, trapped on a wharf above a crocodile-infested river, fighting for your life against a ruthless giant from whom you must escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Tonight we escape to the dank jungles of the Segwanga Valley in Africa.
To the heart of a courageous man, as Robert Simpson told it in his story, John Jock Todd.
No doubt you may presume my Scots ancestry from a wee bit of the old speech that still clings to my voice. Though it's been some years now since I last walked in the heather of the Highlands of Abergowrie. My name is John Todd, the same as my father's, though to be sure he's more often called Jock Todd. Jock being the fighter's equivalent to John, and a name which in no wise applies to me. I am a peace-loving man, not a fighter, and no man can deny it, even today. However, in other respects, I was a raw lad for certain when I sailed out from Glasgow and came here to this heathen land of Africa, and that's a thing which cannot be said of me at present. If a man lives at all in this steaming hot jungle of the Niger River, then he must learn very quickly, and most especially so if he lands at that dirty little trading post on Segwanga Creek. Up, say, boy! Landing coming up! Here you are, Mr. Todd. Segwanga Landing. You can have it as far as I'm concerned. Well, I might say the Power Company has somewhat more elaborate offices in Glasgow, Mr. Simpson. No doubt about that. And how long did you sign up for? 4 years. 4 years. Lucky for them they catch you fellas in Glasgow before they ever seen the place. Oh, can't be so bad. There's a fair-looking buildings there on the bank. Fair-looking buildings? Hey, what's that hell? Ease into it. You want to tear out the wall? I don't suppose you've heard anything about Brock. Well, they told me I should report to the agent in charge here, a man named Captain Brock. Captain Brock. Every agent in this stinking jungle calls himself a captain. That's him there in the wall. Easy, boy. Get a line ready now. All right. Cut the orders. He's a fair-sized man for certain. He's big enough, all right, in some ways. So is a gorilla. Watch out for him. Cannot say I understand you. You will, Mr. Todd, if you live long enough. That's it, offside. Where's the line, boy?
Yes, sir. He cut quick.
That little fellow with him is named Ganson. You get nothing to fear from him till after Brock's made a move. He's a sneaking little jackal, but he never makes his own kill. I still can't understand what you're talking about, Mr. Simpson. You'll find out soon enough. Couldn't help you now to go ahead of time. I dock here once a week on the river run, but you're still on your own. You'd better know it right now. Mr. Simpson, you will have to explain.
Okay, up now, Mr. Simpson. All same, plenty fast.
All right, boy. Come on, Mr. Todd. You may as well meet your new boss.
Oh, blimey, look what the Home Office sent out to us this time.
Shut up, Ganson. Well, Simpson, you are half a day late.
When I start running my boat on the schedule, I'll send you a copy of it, Brock.
If there was another boat on this river I could ship my stuff on, you know what I would do then, don't you?
No, you wouldn't, Brock. Not as long as you know I carry a gun.
You there. You the new junior assistant.
That's right, sir. My name is John Todd, and I assume you're...
I'll take the time to find out your name later. And I do not give 2 cents for what you assume.
That's telling the
Johnson, did not I tell you to shut up?
Yes, sir.
And get out. Clear those natives off the wharf.
Right, you old Captain. All right, move along now, you ready, Peggers. Come on, move now. You there. Oh! Did you to step on the get along?
Some brandy up at the bungalow, Simpson, if you would like a drink while the boys are loading.
I just had a drink. On board.
You there, whatever your name is?
John Todd, sir.
So it is John Todd, is it? And I suppose you call yourself Jock, like the rest of your blasted countrymen.
No, sir. Jock is the name for a fighting man, such as my father. Can't say it fits me.
So you are not a fighting man, eh?
It makes things a lot easier, don't it, Brock?
As soon as your boat is loaded, you can bring the lading bills up to the office. Well, Todd, are you going to stand here on the wharf the rest of the day?
No, sir, but I thought you'd be one.
You, Todd! You are not paid to think. Get your stuff up to the bungalow and be quick about it.
Whatever you say, Captain Brock.
4 years of it, Mr. Todd. Welcome to Shanghaied.
I didn't understand it at all. The reason for Captain Brock having acted in such a strange way. I'd never met the man, nor could I think that he'd ever heard of me before. And I couldn't be certain of the extent of the man's authority here in the jungle. The Home Office in Glasgow having been a wee bit unclear about the matter. They had said only that the agent was very much like the captain aboard a ship, and that he carried full responsibility in his own 2 hands. But about the attitude of Captain Brock himself, I very soon had few doubts left in my head. I didn't see the man again the afternoon I arrived, but a houseboy came and wakened me in the middle of the night and said the captain wished to see me in the main room of the bungalow immediately. Captain Brock, the boy said you sent for me, sir.
You do not have to tell me that. It took you long enough to get here, too.
Oh, it took no more time than to pull on a pair of pants.
So it makes you argumentative to wake you up in the middle of the night.
I was not intending to be so.
I am not interested in your intentions, Mr. Todd. You will learn to keep a civil tongue in your head.
Well, I was not me.
Shut up. That's better. And I suppose you're wondering why I had you waked up like this in the middle of the night.
I presume you had a reason.
Oh, you presume, do you? Oh, yes. And what do you presume the reason is?
I'm afraid I couldn't say.
Then I will tell you. I sent for you, Mr. Todd, simply to show you I can have you waked up any time I please to.
You had no other reason than that?
None at all, Mr. Todd. The fighting man might resent it, but then you are not one, are you? Too bad.
If that's all you've got to say to me, then I'll go back to my bed.
That is all. Now get out of my office.
Just as you say, Captain Brock. The attitude of the man didn't change none of the next few weeks, and I couldn't find in my head any reason for his hatred. And it was hatred. It was in his eyes every time he spoke to me. I took care of my duties and stayed clear of him otherwise, and for the most part we came to no head-on clash. That with the 2 exceptions, however. The first one happened about a week after I'd arrived. I was supervising a group of natives at the time, working on the breakwater at the end of the wharf.
Mr. Todd, what the devil are those boys supposed to be doing?
They're repairing the breakwater.
I can see that without being told. Now, where did you get the authority to buy the timber?
Why, you ordered it last week yourself from Chief Ilori.
Maybe I told you to accept delivery without having me look at it first.
Well, you told me to receive it when it came in, and that's what I did. It's good timber. I checked it myself.
How would you know if it is good timber?
My father happens to be a forester back in Scotland.
The devil take you and your father both.
I'd advise you never to say that in my father's hearing.
Are you threatening me?
No, man, nothing like that. But I'm sort of suggesting it isn't always wise to insult a man you've never seen.
I see. Now that I come to think of it, he is the one that is a fighter, isn't he?
That's correct.
The one they call Jack Todd, huh? Well, it is too bad he is not around here. Mr. John Todd. Boy, you there! Throw that piece of timber you're using. Any fool could see it is too short. I said throw it out. I will teach you to argue. Get back on your feet. I said get up. Get on your feet before I kick your head off.
I'd seen him knock Ganson down the same way, and then kick him like he did the natives. And Ganson took him. and saved these cushions until Brock was not around. I wondered what I might do if he ever tried it on me. And the next week, I saw that he would try it, sooner or later. Chief Joanna and his boys had come in from back country with a dozen canoes full of palm nuts, and I was out in the warehouse checking in the load. We used a big wicker basket for measuring called a cooler for some reason or other, and Joanna's boys would fill this, and then we'd dump it on the pile at the end of the building. Ganson was bossing the loading, and I'd check off each cooler in the tally book as it was dumped. It was late in the afternoon when we finally finished.
All right. Step loudly now, you heathen. License here. Right, no more of trouble about after this one. All right, Todd, here's the last one. You got it marked, have you?
Right, Ganson.
All right, now, you ruddy beggars. Let's take it back and dump it. Come on, put your backs to it now. Eve, here now. Tip her up. Let's go. Hit. Oh, shake 'em out, every swimming off one of them. Come on, shake 'em out. Now, that does it. All right. How many coolers did we have, Todd?
8, 10, 12,
How
14,
many you
15,
count? How many cooler you get? Oh, same me, maybe.
17, 8, 19, Joanna.
19. Me count all same 20.
Well, like it's not you miss one, Todd. You missed 20.
I didn't miss one, Mr. Ganson. The tally is 19.
Turn around. You pay me 20. Make what trouble.
Sorry, Joanna. The count stands at 19.
Don't be a crazy fool, Todd. Give it to him. What's one cooler, more or less?
Me tell Captain Brock. He fix good.
That will not be necessary, Joanna. What is the trouble here, Todd? Haven't you got sense enough to take in a few palm nuts without getting your feet twisted?
I'm afraid to have nothing to do with it, Captain Brock. He claims 20 coolers, and I counted 19.
Then you missed one. Give him 20.
Can I do that, sir?
You what?
Can I sign my name to help cheat the company?
Oh, blimey, if it ain't downright new. Shut up, Ganson.
Mr. Todd, out here I am the company. Now write out that credit check.
Whatever you say, Captain Brock.
It's taking your orders like a good chap, Mr. Todd. I thought you'd change.
I told you to shut up, Ganson. Well, have you got it written, Mr. Todd?
There you are, Captain Brock.
Well, it's lucky you decided. Mr. Todd, you have made this out for 19.
Which is, according to my count. I'll advise you to stop and think before you move.
Well, now, you wouldn't be picking up that shovel with any hostile intent, would you?
No, man. No more than you'd be advancing toward me with a hostile intent.
Like that, eh? Joanna, I'm tearing up this check. I will give you one myself for 20. You always come to me. I will make it right with you.
Yes, Captain. All same like you say.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Todd, I will make it right with you, too. You can depend on that.
Brock stayed clear of me for a few weeks, and outside of the job of work I was hired to do, I had no words with him. I recalled Mr. Simpson saying to watch out for him. And I was there certain he was only waiting for the chance to make his move. He outweighed me by 50 pounds, and I knew beyond doubt that I couldn't stand up to him. But what really worried me was not knowing of any reason for the man's attitude. It made no sense that a man should go looking for a fight without no reason at all. At any rate, the weeks passed. The jungle steamed, and the muddy river rolled past the wharf. And then one day, it happened. Sunday was my one free day in the week. So I'd hired a canoe and paddled upstream for a visit with a fellow countryman at another trading post some few miles away. It was just getting dark when I came back to the wharf, and when I got in close, I saw Brock standing there, smoking and leaning on a pylon at the far side. The watch boy squatted near the edge, waiting to take the line from my canoe. He caught it and pulled the boat in and made it fast. And I climbed out onto the wharf.
You have good trip, Mr. Todd?
Not so bad, bit hot, that was all. You savvy which place canoe man live?
Yes, sir. Live on Breakwater side.
Then go tell him, come get canoe. Tell him 2 day pass. I give him check for pay.
Oh, yes, sir. Let's go now. Tell man plenty soon. Boy. Huh? You there. Yes, sir, Captain Brock. Did I give you permission to leave the wharf? No, sir. But Master Todd... Did I tell you you could leave? No, sir. All right. Then go get the head man. Tell him I want him here right away. And you come back with him. But Captain Brock, sir. Move, boy. Yes, sir.
All right, Todd. Get up to your quarters.
I think I'll be staying right here, Captain Brock. If you're planning to tie that boy to a post and flog him, as I've no doubt you've decided to do, then you'll be having a word with me first.
Cool, blimey.
Jensen, is that you?
All right, you Captain. I heard what he said. If it's a witness you wanted.
I will tell you when I want anything.
All right, Captain. No, I'll mention it.
Take Mr. Todd up to his room and keep him there. I will attend to him later.
If either of you lay a hand on me, it'll be a most unfortunate day in your lives.
Oh, you don't say so, Mr. Todd. Mr. John Todd.
I have told you what you may expect.
So you have. I am not to lay a hand on you. Not even like that.
Oh, Bill, my proper, Captain. Hit him again.
Come on, Mr. Todd, get out!
Felt his foot smashing to my side. I tried to get up onto my knees, and I couldn't.
I told you to get up.
Again. I knew it wouldn't take many to finish me off. My head hung over the side of the wharf. I made one effort and rolled off into the water.
Hey, he's gone into the water, Captain. Maybe he can't swim.
That is his hard luck.
But suppose he drowns. The resident commissioner will be down on us for certain. I don't want no trouble with him.
Shut up, Johnson.
Yes, sir.
He can swim all right. There he is now, climbing out on the bank.
Blimey if he ain't. What's the matter, Mr. Todd? You are not leaving us, are you? You have not changed your mind about having a word with me, have you? Mr. John Todd?
Back in my own quarters, I changed into dry clothes, hurrying as fast as I could. I couldn't have found it in my heart to be angry with the man. He had struck me without warning and kicked me while I was down, and he was planning now to flog a native boy without the lad having committed a fault. It was not a thing to become angry about. Captain Brock had to be punished, that was all. And though it would mean my own life most likely, it had to be done. It was no more than a matter of simple justice. Within 5 minutes, I was back at the wharf. The watch boy had come back with the headman, and a group of natives had gathered around the circle of light thrown out by a hurricane lantern. They didn't see me at first.
All right, Johnson. Pull his hands up over his head and tie them there. Stretch him out. Right, you are, Captain.
The watch boy stood there trembling with fear while Johnson bound his hands to the heavy post.
Hurry up, you clumsy fool, and make it tight. I wanted to hang there after I'm through with him. Oh, he'll do that all right. Captain, here's Todd.
Well, Mr. Todd, you are just in time to see the boy get what is coming to him.
Brock, I told you before, you'll not be doing this without having a word with me.
I was under the impression that you had already had your word, Mr. Todd.
You've been laying into me ever since I came here, for reasons of your own, whatever they might be.
And what do you plan to do about it, Mr. Todd?
You may be somewhat within your rights in that respect, but you're not so when you hit a man without warning and kick him while he's lying on the ground.
Go on, Captain. Give him what for. Go.
I take it then, Mr. Todd, you have objections to hitting a man without warning. Perhaps it is a thing your father would not think of doing.
No objections, Mr. Brock. Now that I know you do it. For it's a thing that one can do as well as the other.
God, blimey, you, Captain.
I don't mind now that I know it. I cuffed him along one side of the head and then again at the other. The while he rocked back from the blows, I clenched my hands around his thick neck and sank my fingers into his throat.
Stop him, Captain! Oh, tear out your bloody throat, stop!
He struggled and twisted, but I held on and kept choking him, clenching my hands tighter and tighter. He struck at me and I let go with one hand and cuffed him again on the side of the head. That was somewhat of a mistake on my part. But the blow enraged him, so he tore himself loose and smashed his fist into my face.
You got him now, Captain! Give it to him! Give it to him!
I will show you if you can.
Kill him, Captain! Go on, kill him!
Get up, Todd.
Get up! Go on, Captain! Kick his bloody head in for him. Give him a good... Look out, Captain! Look out, he's got your ankle! Let go, you dirty...
Have you got to kick him, man, when he's done, Brack.
Hey, now, hey, you bloody fool! You're breaking his leg!
That's right, Ganson. Get up, Brack. On your feet, man. Are you through or only pretended? Come on. Get up on your feet.
I can't get up. You kill him. Oh, blimey, if you ain't broke his bloody leg.
I doubt it. I'm thinking it's only twisted. Ganson.
Yes, sir.
Have the boys give him a hand to his room if he needs it. I'm going to my quarters and clean up a bit.
Right you are, Mr. Todd.
And Captain Brock, you have no reason to be calling me a killer. I'm a peace-loving man, and I've no good opinion of such things as killing and fighting.
You tried to do me in, Todd. You are going to pay for it. I'm going to kill you for it, maybe today or maybe next month, but I'm going to kill you. You can count on it.
I went to my quarters then, and I didn't know what happened just after that. I didn't know about Brock kicking Ganson off the stairs while the little man was trying to help him, nor about Ganson going to the captain's room a few minutes afterwards.
How are you feeling, Captain?
Oh, shut your mouth, Ganson, or I will shut it for you.
You've got no call to be treating me like that. I'd have helped you if I could, but there just won't no chance. He'd have done for me the same as you, Captain.
Shut up! I cannot even move my leg.
There wasn't no call to kick me a while ago, neither.
If I could get out of this chair, I'd do the same again.
You can't get up, Captain Brock?
How could I hope to... Well, what is in your mind, you little beggar?
You've been booting me around for nearly 2 years now, haven't you? You hopped onto me the first minute I landed, like you got an habit of doing when a bloke is new.
And I will break your dirty little neck as soon as I can walk.
You've been treating me like a ruddy dog, Captain. And I've been taking it, too. Until now.
Oh, what are you up to? Ganson? Ganson? I sat there in the room for a long time, holding the pistol I'd taken from a drawer of the desk. I couldn't see any way out of it. Sooner or later, at the first chance he could find, Brock was going to kill me. And aside from murdering the man in cold blood, I didn't see any way of preventing him. I couldn't leave the trading post, and for certain I couldn't stay on my guard for 24 hours a day. I couldn't say how long it was I sat there, holding the pistol in my hand, and trying to think how I might keep from dying, and not even knowing why the man hated me enough to wish to kill me. Then I heard somebody coming down the hall outside my door. I thought for a moment they might be going past, but then I raised the gun and pointed it at the door. Ganson. Ganson. Man, what have you done to your hand?
Man. Oh, you ought to see him, Mr. Todd. You ought to come take a look at him. Oh, blimey, if I ain't marked him up all right. I marked him good.
What are you saying, man? What have you done?
Him has always thought he was so much, just because he was bigger than me. Oh, I showed him all right.
What have you done?
Why don't you come take a look for yourself, Mr. Todd? Come and see what used to be so high and mighty, calling itself Captain Brock. Take a look at him, Mr. Todd. He ain't quite so tough now as he was before.
What have you done to him?
Please do not let him hit me. Please don't let him again. With my own 2 hands, I've done it, Mr. Todd. I beat his face to a pulp, I did.
Speak no man while he's helpless. Get as bad as he is, Johnson.
Please do not let him hit me again, Mr. Todd.
He's not going to hit you, Brock. Get to your room, Johnson. Come on.
Oh, all right, Mr. Todd. Anyway, I marked him. I marked his face up good so it'll show for a long time. Don't let him hit me again.
Shut up, you great blubbering baby. Most likely you'll live through it all right. Though you may never look the same again.
Hey! I heard you've been having a bit of excitement.
Oh, Mr. Simpson.
I docked at the wharf 10 minutes ago. The boys told me what had happened. Good Lord. You did all that?
Oh, not to his face. Johnson has been settling up an old score. I'm afraid the little man has a vicious disposition.
I never thought I'd see it. Brock, crying like a baby.
Aye. And the sound of it fairly sickens me. Suppose we step outside and let him be?
Don't let him hit me, please don't.
Mr. Simpson, I've found out why Captain Brock hated me the way he did. Why he threatened to kill me.
Eh? What do you think it is?
The man's a coward, that's all. You saw him in there just now. He knew he was a coward, and he was afraid I'd find it out.
Yeah, you may be right.
There's no doubt of it. And I'm thinking you'll have him for a passenger when you go back downriver. He'll not be able to stay here, now that we understand him. And I'll see to it that Johnson goes along with him.
Well, I can't say that I'll mind the change. I mean, doing business here from now on with a gent by the name of Jock Todd.
Jock? Oh, no. You're taking me all wrong. I'm a peace-loving man, and my name is John. It's no wise proper to call a man Jock unless he's a fighter. Now, you take my father, for instance. There's a man who can hold his own in any kind of company. But I don't know.
Escape, produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, tonight brought you John Jock Todd by Robert Simpson. Adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, featuring Wilms Herbert as John Todd, Jack Crucian as Captain Brock, and Tony Barrett as Ganson, with Don Diamond and Paul McVeigh. The musical score was conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Next week.
You are rushing forward through time, far into the future, trying desperately to flee the clutching fingers of a band of night creatures, a dreamlike horror from whom there seems no escape.
Next week, we escape with H.G. Wells' awesome story, The Time Machine. Good night, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Nestle's Quick for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle chocolate bars present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Visions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Torrey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy are testing a new spaceship out beyond the Saturn orbit. Suddenly, they find themselves on a collision course with another spaceship.
That pilot must be crazy. He suddenly changed vector right toward us.
He's not trying evasive action, so it's up to us. Fire starboard rockets. Commander, he's still coming at us. Yeah, that ship is a robot-controlled guided missile. If you don't blow it up, it's going to hit us. Stand by to fire space torpedoes. Standing by, sir. Fire number 1. Commander, the torpedo controls are jammed. We're going to crash. We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Image of Evil. Got big news today, Space Patrollers. Exciting news for all of you. So quick, get pencil and paper and keep them ready by your radios. Because in just a little while, I'm going to tell you how you can get the latest, the greatest, newest surprise Commander Corey has for all of you. And here it is, the new Cosmic Rocket Launcher. An exact pocket-sized model of the giant rocket used by Commander Corey in today's Space Patrol adventure. Specially constructed of sleek, durable plastic. This neat rocket is a big 6 inches long with a snap-on double-deck scout car. It's positioned on a brake-proof nylon launching cord 33 feet long for distance flight. You can send it on its way by pressing the trigger on a stainless steel launching gun. And it travels down that cord with trigger-fast speed. Hits the target and wham! Automatically launches the scout car. Yes, sir, a cosmic rocket launcher of your own means lots of fun, lots of action, too. So Space Patrollers, stand by. In just a few minutes, you're going to learn how you can get your own new sensational Cosmic Rocket Launcher. And now today's Space Patrol adventure, The Image of Evil. In his central office in Space Patrol headquarters on the man-made planet Terra, Commander Corey examines a model rocket ship of unique design. Hearing voices at the door, Buzz carefully places the trim model back into an Endurium case labeled Top Secret, as a civilian literally forces his way into the offices, despite the protest of Cadet Happy. Hey, just a minute.
I've got to see Commander Corey.
You can't just barge
I'll talk
in
to
here.
no one else, understand?
All right, what's this all about? This man just pushed past the guard at the end of the hall.
Hold on, one at a time.
I tried to
It's
stop
all
him.
right, Happy. Now, mister, let's have your story.
Believe me, Commander, I wouldn't have forced my way in here on purely personal matter. There's something you ought to know right away.
Now that you're in here, let's have it.
Commander, Prince Pokarati has escaped.
Prince Baccarati? Why, he's
I
in the...
saw him at the Lowell City Spaceport on Mars.
Who are you?
You think I'm crazy, don't you? Well, I'm Baron Sarkane of Jupiter. And I can refer you to several prominent people who will vouch for my sanity and my reliability.
Mr. Sarkane, I don't doubt your sincerity, but Prince Baccarati is undergoing treatment at the Criminal Rehabilitation Center on Venus. He's been there for months. And he won't be released as cured for nearly a year.
Yes, I know that. But I also know that the man I saw was Baccarati. Believe me, if there was the slightest doubt, I would merely have reported my suspicion to a minor authority on Mars instead of coming directly to you.
If Baccarati had escaped, I wouldn't blame you for being concerned, but I think I can ease your mind. Rehab personnel center will give us an answer.
Rehab personnel section, Agent Grayson.
Commander Corey here, Grayson. I need some information.
Yes, Commander?
Where at this moment is Prince Baccarati?
Why, he's still in his rehab, sir.
Yes, I know, but at exactly what stage is the processing? Check with Venus and call me back immediately. Corey out.
Yes, Commander.
Now, Mr. Sarkane, if Baccarati had escaped, Rehab Personnel Center would have been notified.
Fears I've made somewhat of a fool of myself tonight. Still, I'd spare the man I saw was Prince Baccarati.
Then you knew Baccarati personally?
Not intimately. I had no dealings with the man. But I have met him some years ago. He's not the type of man one easily forgets.
I agree with you, Mr. Sarkane. However, there's several billion people in the solar system. There are bound to be similarities.
Yes. I don't know which is the great in my embarrassment or my relief in knowing that that monster isn't Lucifer. My apologies.
It's all right, Mr. Sarkane.
Thank you. My apologies to you, too, for that I already started.
Forget it.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye. Poor guy. He really thought he had a hot piece of news. The news not at all the excitable type. Very surprising. Oh, speaking of surprises, I've got one for you, Hap. Open that box.
Yes, sir. Hey, top secret.
All right. You're in.
Wow. A model rocket ship. And what a beauty. But what's that other gadget?
That's a launching device. This is a model of what you and I are going to test in a couple of days. The Cosmic Rocket Launcher.
Oh, so this is the secret project of Saturn testing.
Right. An important new exploration and space search tool, Happy. See how the scout car attaches to the under part of the rocket ship?
Yes, sir.
That scout car can be released to make short auxiliary searches or rescue missions. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I take that book with you. Turn the class cover and hold it out at arm's length. That's on your side, please.
Like this, sir?
That's fine.
I'll put the rocket ship in the launching mechanism. Oh, it works something like a gun. This model does, yes. Now, I'm going to fire the rocket at that book you're holding. Now, watch what happens to the scout car. Hey! The rocket ship released the scout car when it hit the book. Mm-hmm. The release mechanism is in the nose of the rocket ship. Naturally, on the actual ship, the scout car can be released in several different ways. Proximity, ejector, manual controls, and the ship or scout car. Oh, it's a wonderful gadget. May I work it once? Certainly, huh? Now, hold it a minute. Headquarters, mandatory here.
This is Grayson, Rehab Personnel Center. I've got the data on Baccarati.
All right, Grayson.
This Baccarati is in the suspended animation section, Venus Rehab Center. Now undergoing stage 5 of the correctional therapy process.
Electro-reassociative orientation. No one can get him out of that.
Right, sir. That wasn't why your question surprised me a while ago. We've had 4 reports from various parts of the solar system of people who were certain they'd seen Prince Baccarati.
Over what period, Grayson?
Oh, last 8 days. Oddly enough, those people making the reports weren't in the crackpot category. For all of them to be true, though, Baccarati would have to be on 3 different planets at the same time. Not even equal to them.
All right, Grayson. Well, thanks very much, Corey. Out.
Well, that settles that. Arcane sure was imagining things.
Perhaps.
Just thinking. Baccarati has been out of circulation for months.
Now, within a short period, several people think they see him.
Some distance from Space Patrol headquarters on Terra, 2 men are in earnest conversation. Larger man grins evilly. Aaron Starkane speaks.
Then the commander proved to me that I was right. It couldn't have been Prince Baccarati that I saw. I pretended to be embarrassed enough. Good, Starkane. Now I can move about openly. Frankly, I'm glad it's over. Believe me, it isn't easy to crash into Space Patrol headquarters and lie to Commander Corbett. The bigger the lie, the less the risk. Tyrants through the ages have proved that. And now, with my twin brothers safely in the Venus Rehabilitation Center, I can take over. I, Sultan Baccarati, can turn into my rightful heritage as the true Prince Baccarati. The other Baccarati was an impostor. The usurper. That's the three of you are twins. You, Sarkane, being a commoner, a peasant, wouldn't understand. Once my family ruled Jupiter and controlled most of the other planets. Yes, I know history. How sweet it is to hear that song. Although my brother and I were twins, I was born first by about 10 minutes. But my evil twin was ambitious and conniving. He cheated me out of my birthright. Before he was 14, he banished me into obscurity. And still, that's my very right. I lived under another name. And your brother will be. Yes. But now he's in the Venus Rehabilitation Center. Now with my friend. I will become more powerful than he ever dreamed of being. And unlike my brother, I can move freely from planet to planet.
Because of your brother?
Yes. It took me years to find out. Innocent, law-abiding men who look like me. And my twin brothers. And I have hired men like you to report to the Space Patrol unit that Prince Baccarati was arrested.
And now the Space Patrol is so tired of the reports that even the real Prince Baccarati would appear without being there.
I am the real Prince Baccarati.
Of course, that's what I mean. Only my brother's secrets are the Space Patrol packet. In a code, the Space Patrol hasn't been able to break. But wasn't your brother given a telegraph test right after he stepped?
No. But the papers weren't discovered until my brother was in the rehabilitation center under processing. Your job, Sarkane, is to get those papers out of the files.
Yeah. When the authorized agents are permitted...
I know that. I have an exact duplicate of the credentials of the Space Patrol career. You will pose as the courier. You will go to the record division, section 18. Give me a pain, Commander. They turn in a 10-page report on what I had for breakfast. This one, for example.
Oh, you're following Lieutenant Woodson's report, huh?
Yes, sir. Our patrol pilots flashed a couple of spaceships full of crooks, and they tell the whole story in a 10-word spacergram. And then a messenger like Lieutenant Woodson writes a novel about his wallet.
Lieutenant Woodson was only following orders, I think. He suspects somebody of tampering with his credentials. Certainly identification cards seem to be in a different order right now.
That's important.
Remember, he has access to the records division. Considered it important enough to alert the records division guards against forged credentials.
Oh, Well, it just seems like a lot of red tape to me. I guess I'd get a cosmic rocket on my mind.
Well, as soon as we get this routine work out of the way, the sooner we'll blast off for Saturn. A surface car pulls up in the deserted parking area close to the Space Patrol Records Division building. Aaron Sarkin punches an empty briefcase and gets out of the car. Suppose they stop. They won't stop you. You're wearing a Space Patrol lieutenant's uniform. And you got the proper credentials. Just like natural costume. Yes, but I'm Mr. House. Don't worry. These clerks work by numbers. They won't even know that you're getting Prince Baccarati's papers. And if they do, well, you got a ray gun. Now get going. A few moments later, in Space Patrol headquarters, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are reviewing the cosmic rocket launcher operations procedure when the emergency intercommunications alarm sounds. Just a moment, huh? Yes, sir. Headquarters, Commander Corey here.
Records Division, Section 18, Technical Sergeant Mark reporting, sir.
Yes, Sergeant?
Response to alert order 181732 travel at 1
Go ahead.
The courier is here in this section, Commander. Presented identification card number SP00687. The number on the alert order.
Is this man with you now?
No, sir. I left him back in corridor H, file section 27B. I thought I'd better... No.
Hello, Sergeant. Sergeant Markham. Come on, Happy, and get to the elevator. We're going down to the records section. Swiftly, the elevator drops to the lower levels of the Space Patrol headquarters building, and Buzz and Happy hurry down a deserted corridor of the record division. Now, this way, Hap. Here's Section 18.
Yes, sir. Commander, look, it's the guard.
Sergeant Markham.
Someone slugged him when he was on the intercom.
And cut off the connection.
Chances are, whoever it was
Get your ray gun ready.
Yes, sir.
Hold it right where you are.
Commander, it's Sartain.
All right, Sartain. What are you doing in that uniform?
I can explain everything, Commander.
What have you got there? Give it to Happy.
Yes. Here you are.
Yeah, and I'll just take that ray gun, Sartain. You got in here with Lieutenant Woodsman's duplicated credentials. What was he after, huh?
Oh, they're these papers. They're the undeciphered code on Prince Baccarati.
Well, Sartain, you seem to have an unusual interest in Baccarati. You tell me you've seen him on Mars, and now you've sneaked into the file section with false credentials.
Commander, I need your help. Listen to me, please. Okay, Commander, look out. Get your hands up, Corey. You two, Cadet. Rocket. It's Prince Baccarati. Yes. Prince Baccarati, the real prince. I'm sure you came just in time. I got a buzz gun here, Corey, so don't attempt any heroic.
Oh, here you are. You do look like Baccarati.
Naturally. I'm his twin brother's old time. His twin brother? Well, I didn't know
Listen,
all of you. There is only one thing my brother and I have in common. Our hatred of Commander Corey. With you out of the way, either of us could have ruled the United Planets.
That's flattering, old Tom, but not necessarily true.
Oh, yes, it is. And I'm going to prove it now. Regarded the exit is unconscious. Sartain and I can be out of here with my brother's secret records in just a few seconds. Get out of the line of fire, Sartain. I'm going to bless Corey and the Cadet.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. You just shoot it, and boom, watch it go. A direct hit every time. Because the cosmic rocket is guided by you from the trigger of its stainless steel launching gun. And that gun's got a special spring, powered for long-distance flights or short hops, up or down its 33-foot nylon cord. Play with a cosmic rocket launcher as often as you like. The rocket and its snap-on double-deck scout car are made of break-proof, shatter-proof plastic in beautiful colors, red and yellow. Launch it solo or with one of your pals. Set up your target, rig your sighting line, press the trigger, and away it flies like a shooting star. Hits the target and automatically launches the scout car. Super neat, Senior George. That's the Cosmic Rocket Launcher. Easy to play with, easy to get. Ready with your pencils and papers, Space Patrollers? Here's how. Send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, or send the special premium panel from the side of a Nestle's Quick Can or the lid, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Image of Evil. In the Records Division of Space Patrol Headquarters, Buzz and Happy cornered Aaron Sarkane in the act of stealing a file of secret documents on the arch-criminal Prince Baccarati. Baccarati's twin brother, Zoltan, surprised the Space Patrolman and is now threatening to destroy them with a blast gun.
Start toward the exit, Sarkane. I'll take care of Corey and the cadet.
Yes, Your Highness.
Commander, he's a living image of Prince Baccarati.
Yes, and just as evil.
No, Corey. I'm not evil. I'm only getting what was originally mine. My brother deprived me of my heritage. He misused the power he took from me. But with these records, I can find the fortune he hid. The treasure he concealed on half a dozen planets.
You're forgetting those papers are in code. A code that even a top cryptographer couldn't crack.
No, I shall have no trouble, Commander. For ages, the Baccaratis have had their own family secret.
Your Highness, let's get out of here.
In a moment, Sarkane.
Baccarati, why did you send Sarkane to my office to tell me he'd seen your brother on Mars?
This merely to create a confusion. I reasoned that if Prince Baccarati was being seen everywhere, you space patrollers would cease paying attention to any of the reports, and I could travel as I pleased.
Otherwise, you'd have to alter your appearance by plastic surgery.
Exactly. And that, of course, is unthinkable.
Why?
Any change would be an improvement. I can't expect the pattern to appreciate the noble countenance of a Baccarati. Look at this face. It has the Baccarati brow, the Baccarati nose, the Baccarati chin. I ask you, where have you seen anything like it?
On a pack rat in a Venus warehouse.
What's that?
The general alarm. And you won't be able to escape. The exit is locked.
That's impossible. I knocked the guard out with the ray gun.
If he doesn't ring in every 3 minutes, the alarm sounds and the exit's locked automatically.
I knew we shouldn't have come in. Shut up, Sarkane. Commander Corey undoubtedly has a master key. Search him.
Yes, Your Highness.
I've got it. Now, let's get out of here. Corey, I can't finish you with the blast gun. The guards would hear it. This ray gun will have to do for now. Now, Sarkane, let's get out of here.
By the time guards reach Buzz and Happy, Baccarati and Sarkane have escaped from the Records Division. An hour passes before the effects of the ray gun wear off, and Buzz is able to issue an all-planets alarm for Baccarati. Now, in his central office, Buzz picks off his spaceophone and turns to Happy.
That's all we can do right now, Hap. But inside of an hour, every space patrol in the solar system will be looking for Zoltan Baccarati.
It's going to be tough on those doubles of his.
They can easily prove who they are.
Well, the original Prince Baccarati was bad enough, but this twin of his, wow.
Zoltan maybe he is. He feels that his brother gave him a raw deal, so he's out to make up for lost time.
I guess the first thing he'll try to do is pick up some of the money his brother stashed all around over the solar system. I mean, after he deciphers those coded papers he stole from the file.
He'll probably lie low and have someone else pick up the money. But with the entire space patrol alerted, we'll get him eventually. Well, let's get to the spaceport.
Yes, sir.
Bring the data on the cosmic rocket launcher. I'll brief you while we're on the flight to Saturn.
Between orbits of Jupiter and Saturn, a private space cruiser follows a vector remote from the regular space lanes. Aaron Sarkane carefully watches the viewscope screens while Zoltan Baccarati barks instructions to his henchmen by spaceophone.
Take care of that immediately. Remember, I will tolerate no mistakes. Baccarati out. You see, Sarkane, there is nothing to worry about. Soon I will have most of my brother's money. And with that, I can rule the universe.
But Corey knows you're right.
Corey is my chief obstacle. However, he will not oppose me for long. In a few hours, I will be rid of Corey for good.
Thank you, Your Highness. I don't like the idea.
Your opinion means nothing to me, Sarkane. You are like most men, ruled by fear, limited by a lack of imagination. But I am a Baccarati. Remember, what is an obstacle to an ant is not an obstacle to an eagle. And I, Sarkane, am an eagle.
Yes, yes.
In a few hours, Corey will be out beyond the Saturn orbit, testing the cosmic rocket. There is my opportunity to destroy him. One of my spies on Saturn has given me the test vector Corey will use.
And you expect me to crash that old robot-controlled cruiser into the rocket?
It will be easy. Even if Corey sees the cruiser, he won't expect an attack. Suddenly, it will be upon him. And once the test ship is in range of the automatic target selector, the cruiser will crash into Corey's ship. He can't avoid it.
But suppose it lost the cruiser before it?
That problem has been taken care of. All right, Sarkane, take me to Jupiter. I'll wait there while you finish Corey. If you follow my instructions, your control ship will never be detected.
At the Saturn test base, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are at the controls of the new rocket ship, ready for blast-off, making a final checkup.
Scout car release mechanism in order, Commander.
Stand by for blast-off.
Standing by, sir.
Remember, the first man to recover from blackout presses the automatic spacephone signal to notify base control.
Yes, sir.
The green warning light from base operations center. At the kickoff buzzer, press the rocket launching control. Up, ship and away.
The spacephone signal.
It's all right, Hap. I've already taken care of it.
Oh. Hey, how long have I been out?
Take a look at the vector indicator.
Look, the rockets were nearly to the first test point.
Right. We've run under 8 G's acceleration for 30 minutes. I came to shortly after the automatic control cut down to 1 G.
There's Saturn moon number 8 in the viewscope screen. That's our first objective, right?
Just the proximity release control for the scout car, huh?
Yes, sir. 1,000 BUs.
You know the procedure?
Yeah. I board the scout car. After automatic ejection, I pilot the scout car to moon number 8, land, and then at a signal from you, I blast off and attach to the rocket ship again.
Right. Wait, Hap. There's a ship crossing our test vector.
What's he doing out here? Hey, it's a private cruiser.
An odd place for a private cruiser to be. Thousands of BUs off the space lane.
Hey, that pilot must be crazy. He suddenly changed vector right toward us.
He's not trying evasive action, so it's up to us. Fire starboard rockets.
Commander, he's still coming at us. He changed direction just when we did.
Yeah, that ship is a robot-controlled guided missile. Somebody's deliberately trying to wreck us.
Look at rocket.
If you don't blow up that cruiser, it's going to hit us. Stand by to fire space torpedoes.
Standing by, sir.
Fire number 1.
Commander, the firing controls are jammed. We're going to crash.
We've got one more trick.
How can you trick a missile?
We'll throw it a bone.
A bone?
The scout car. We release the scout car and then swerve suddenly. The robot seeker may hold on to the scout car.
We haven't much time, sir.
Release scout car.
There it goes, zooming out ahead of us.
Right to the robot. I'm going to change course.
It worked, Commander. The cruiser didn't swerve. It stayed right on the beam, headed for that scout car. Wow. Well, that takes care of the robot ship.
Yeah. The cost of the scout car.
Am I glad you thought of ejecting your tires? I'm surprised that robot ship didn't keep on after us. After all, this ship is so much bigger than the scout car.
Yes, but when we shot the scout car on ahead, it returned stronger impulses to the robot guiding mechanism than this ship did.
Well, somebody certainly doesn't like us.
Yes. Anxious to know who it is. It must be fairly close. It'd have to be in order to have brought that robot ship exactly across our vector the way they did.
I'll cut on the viewscope scanner, sir.
Arcane to Baccarat.
Baccarat here.
It worked, Your Highness. I just saw the explosion.
Very good. Now, come to Jupiter immediately. Before we are out of the way, you can start putting my plans in operation.
Wait. I just saw something in useful. I don't understand it. It's the rocket.
What?
It isn't even half. The rocket you crashed into it. I saw the explosion.
Or he must have fixed the space torpedo mechanism. It's blown after robot.
Your Highness, I think he's sighted me. The ship is coming toward me. What do I do now?
That is up to you, Starkey. From now on, you're on your own. Goodbye, Starkey.
Your Highness, help me, please. Your Highness, please.
Training on him, Commander.
Make a race out of it.
Torpedo mechanism fixed.
Keep working on it, Hap. I'll try to contact him. Manacori aboard test rocket ship CL-85, calling private cruiser Class C now on 35-degree heading toward Saturn moon number 8. Acknowledge. Manacori calling private cruiser Class C. I'm 5 DUs astern of you. Cut your rockets and prepare to be boarded.
You never come aboard this ship, boy.
Commander, it's Arcane.
Arcane, is Baccarati aboard? Answer me.
Man, listen. Make a bargain. If I tell you where to find Baccarati, will you give me a break?
I don't make deals with crooks.
Thank you, mate. I'll tell you this. Never get aboard this ship.
Commander, I found the trouble. The firing mechanism is okay now.
Good. Send a torpedo over Arcane's ship.
Yes, sir.
Arcane, are you going to surrender? All right, fire number 1 here. How about it, Arcane? We can come closer, you know. All right, Hap, fire 2.
No, with me. No, I'll surrender.
Hold it, Hap. All right, Arcane, cut your rockets. If we join airlocks, come into this ship. And remember, we'll have ray guns ready, so don't try anything.
I won't, Commander.
I give you my word.
That's a lot of assurance.
I won't give you any trouble. I'll tell you where you can find Baccarati. He's hiding out a few miles from Jupiter City. Thank you, Sergeant.
Baccarati. He's been listening.
Yes, Commander. I've been eavesdropping. I was disappointed to learn that my plan had failed. But the next time, you won't be so lucky.
Your twin brother tried to get me too, Baccarati. You know where he is. In fact, Baccarati, I guarantee that you and your brother will soon have a family reunion.
In just a moment, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Brought to you by Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packaging. Wind it up, put it in your pocket, take your own cosmic rocket launcher with you wherever you go. You can do it, Space Patrollers, because that slick-looking rocket and neat double-deck scout car are made of real durable plastic. Swell bright colors, red and yellow. And don't forget, all 33 feet of that special nylon thread is breakproof. The launching gun is of sturdy stainless steel with long-distance power built right into it.
Right, Captain Tufeld. Space Patrollers, this is Commander Corey. I want every one of you to have this exact pocket-sized model of my own cosmic rocket launcher. Operates just like mine, too. A big 6-inch rocket whizzes down a nylon launching cord, hits a target, and automatically launches the double-deck snap-on scout car. And there's a space inside the scout car for important secret messages. Now, gang, listen while Captain Tufeld tells you how to get yours.
To get your cosmic rocket launcher, send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, or send the special premium panel from the side of a Nestle's Quick Can or the lid, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coins, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have trapped Prince Baccarati in his retreat on Neptune.
Keep it covered, Happy. If he makes one move, use your ray gun.
Yes, sir. What's that noise?
Nothing to be alarmed about.
Oh, my hand! The ray gun is red hot. I couldn't hold it.
Baccarati, what...
Commander, our gun's melted. Vaporized.
This blaster is still all right. And if either of you move, I'll be glad to prove it.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story of Phantom Visitors. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devereux. Other players were Bela Kovac, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for exciting action on Space Patrol. Space Patrol was brought to you today by Nestle's Quick, for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle chocolate bars. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast for armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.